And welcome back to the Console Gaming League PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. Thank you guys for your patience. It has been a bit of an effort. Cataclysm coming off of a very long game against Heckin' Weebs. And honestly, I didn't realize we'd get such solid action from all these PS4 teams. Not that, you know, obviously they're obviously capable. High level players and doing a really solid job here. So I'm excited to finally get this game going. I think we have both teams in the lobby ready to go. I think we are just as excited as you are to get into Lijiang Tower. I'm here with Salt and Pepper. In this tournament, it's a best of 3 series, 8 teams in a double elimination. First game we saw had Insanity and Space Esports in a very solid matchup where Insanity just barely dropped out there, and Space just were able to edge them out. It looked like for a little bit that Insanity was going to be able to have the advantage and come back into the game, but Space Esports closed the door and sent them to the losers bracket. So other games happening concurrently, but we are making sure we got both teams ready to go, and we'll get you into this one. Hopefully this game not nearly as long as the last, but I mean, then again, more Overwatch, so not necessarily all bad. I think we are just about ready. I'm just going to get started. Look, guys, going directly from a half-hour-long menu into a pause because one team had a member drop, so they'll have a little bit of time to get them back in. Obviously, if you're going to leave a game right here at the beginning before anything's actually happened, the best time to do it. So we'll be able to get that all sorted and get it was Mad Max maybe back into the game. Appreciate you guys joining. This is getting the PlayStation 4 side of you know, OWXL, then OXC, and now CGL trying to get that PS4 side has been something we wanted to do for a little while, so happy to be able to kick this off with the showcase, and we've had some really solid games so far, both streamed and unstreamed. So we do have everybody back in. We'll get this unpaused to get you into Lijiang. Supreme Aaron's coming in now. May have been a connection issue for their other player, but at the beginning of the game they can make that sub. Lijiang Tower, a fan favorite. It seemed like in some of the formats we had in past seasons, Lijiang Tower appeared a lot in the map pool. Definitely one we see pretty often. Though again, I know we'll get a little bit of Busan later in the tournament. Excited for that one. We got a chance to cast any games on Busan, so looking forward to that. Great map. Really good map. Coming out on the left, Fissure, getting to see them for the first time. Joseph the Captain on Wrecking Ball, and I like seeing some solid Wrecking Ball play, so excited again if he does stick with that tank. The just high-level play we already have, seen some good Wrecking Ball, should be a lot of fun. Junior Tico on the Zarya's tactics goes Moira. Supreme Aaron's on Diva. Exhibits on Lucio. And Excel on Reinhardt. Joseph switching over now to a Brigida, changing up the comp a little bit for the red team here. Cataclysm coming off that long game against Heckin' Weebs. It's Cyber Ninja on the Roadhog is Javiper. There we go. Goes Diva. The last Baron on Lucio. Ethan on Brigida. Men Immortal on Zarya. Sackmeister on the Ana. Coming directly into point now. It's Cataclysm setting up their kind of stake, their parcel of land here on the point. The attackers coming in from Fisher, trying to push them off a little bit. Point opens up in about 10 seconds or so, and nobody dropping just yet. Still pretty tight here on the point, and nobody with a clear advantage. But I think Cataclysm taking a little bit better space. Now a dive into the back from the Blue Diva Supreme Aaron's, and the kills start to go the way of Fissure here. Tico and Excel both able to get a couple picks. Members down, continue falling. Joseph Supreme Aaron's getting in the fight as well, and Cataclysm have to concede that point. Fissure taking over first, and the taxi back from the last Baron just to get the members back. They don't have the point, but they do have a shatter already. Cyber Ninja able to earn that ultimate very quickly and could use that to counter engage here. Tactics Coalescence for the other side, looking to stay out of the line of danger. Now they're pushing back in a point quickly. Goes directly into the shield, though. That is a unfortunately wasted shatter. Now the Graviton coming out. They've combined it with the Coalescence. A lot of things looking a little rough here for Cataclysm. Members dropping. And Supreme Aarons and Joseph able to offset that fight. It's a 6v4. Cataclysm cutting their losses here, retreating back to the spawn. Really solid there from Fissure. Difficult that Cyber Ninja wasn't able to get the most out of that shatter. And then just the Graviton nicely timed there from Tico. The Coalescence already up, and they just cleaned up after that. Quick engagement again, just 40% gone off the point, and we're still, this is the third team fight already. Self-destruct in over the top, but a good retreat here from the current point defenders will keep them fairly safe. Shadow from the other side finds no one. The pin in from Cyber Ninja is able to get a little bit of value, though. Graviton coming out, catches a couple, the bomb coming through, but doesn't find anyone. Sound barriers from both sides. Now it's a brawl on the point. It's another Graviton coming out here from Fissure. They've collected a couple members, but not a lot of follow-up. I still think it's Cataclysm. Maybe with some of the advantage, a small retreat here from Fissure, but now they're back into engage the point. I don't know if they have the members, though, and they could just be trying to stall to continue building that percentage. Now it's a Coalescence coming in from Cataclysm, maybe to try and split up the rest of the point. A Coalescence coming in from Tactics on the other side, his second of the game. Supreme Aarons with an ultimate as well. Both Diva Bombs available. One coming out now as Jav's able to get one into space, but doesn't find anybody. Tanks now down as Fissure continue cleaning up. That minor point of the control in the center there earned, but retreats now as Fissure come back through. Graviton coming out will just prevent anybody from trying to get to the point. I don't know if there's actually enough time for them to come in to contest this. Cyber Ninja doing his level best, gets the shadow through, but 98, 99%. That's the first round in Cataclysm. Ooh. Need to make a few changes. Fissure come away with a very solid round there. Fissure making it look easy. The stall in the center there, kind of around their 60-ish, 70% or so, where they just tried to continue earning ultimates. It was Cataclysm had a difficult time kind of powering down those last few staggered members, and I think that Fissure did a really good job of kind of retreating to some extent and allowing the control point to take a little bit. They had a few reinforcements, came back in, had the Coalescence, and they were able to kind of turn the pressure and swing the pendulum of that fight the other direction. Now coming out here, Cataclysm looking to respond. They've got a fair. It's actually fairs for both sides. Common sight on this map. Ethan on a soldier, though, just maybe expecting the fair from the other side, but still a hit scan for Fissure as well as Tico's switching over to McCree. Bit of flexibility coming through as Joseph's now onto a tank as Tico gets off the Zarya. Metamoral getting that threat out of the way immediately, though, as Tico falls. Now it's a 6v5 for Cataclysm, who are already trying to rent space here on the point. Control point starts to open, and the percentage starts to build for them. I don't know. It looks like a late contest coming in, and now able to even it up a little bit. Still a 5v4 in favoring of Cataclysm. They add a couple more, and that'll just about do it. A bit of a stagger coming through on the Mercy. And Exhibit maybe thought about going in for a res, opted against it, and then just got caught out. So Cataclysm now start to earn a little bit more, 15% or so. Starting to look pretty good. They've got ultimates building. Tico switching over to a soldier instead of the McCree. Now the fight's starting to break out onto the point again. The tank line here for Cataclysm just trying to stay a little bit tight and pick their target. The pin coming through, but it's jab out of mech. Sound barrier coming in through from the attacker's Fissure, looking if they can collect part of the point. The Graviton coming through, a fantastic combination here. Oh my god. Oh, it's a 5 for Supreme. What a fantastic combo there from Fissure. Oh, just impressive. The Graviton, the Rocket Barrage, team kill. And what a way to kind of get your first percentage on the point. They start to build that there, and they're looking to tie up this game. Just 48% gone here for Cataclysm. Right, I guess tie up the round. If they're able to win this round, they take the game and off to a strong start in the series. Cataclysm started this round out well, but how much of that fatigue coming in from a very long previous game. Boop coming through, Supreme able to get a couple. Excels off the side as looks like Fissure still has a bit of the advantage here if they're able to clean up this fight. That'll definitely help. Should be able to continue tying up the point, but control starts going the other direction. I think there was Jav on point, but gets caught out there. Supreme Aarons just putting in absolute work in the sky on this fair. Commentator's Curse. As I say, that drops, but the effect still felt here by Cataclysm. Still looking to regroup their members, and Fissure is still holding onto the point strongly, about to eclipse the 48% earned by the red team here. Tactical Visor could definitely help Supreme, looking for another opportunity, earn that second rocket barrage rather, very quickly after that fantastic 5 just a moment ago. Kills swapping here in this next fight. Looks like Fissure still have the advantage as Excel is able to offset it their direction. Now it's a 5v5 as Sackmeister gets back in. Last Baron with the res will actually put Cataclysm a bit in the driver's seat on this fight. But time's starting to run out a little bit. They're at 70%. The next fight breaks out directly on the point. Here's a rocket barrage directly onto the Last Baron. The Tactical Visor now coming through from Ethan. Hasn't quite found anybody, but looking for the Pharah. Finds the Mercy. Now both Mercies down. Still, maybe some of these kills go in the way of Cataclysm. They're not quite able to do enough to completely end the fight. And the delay just keeps coming through in from Fissure. Now the kill's still going the way of Cataclysm, and I think now it's going to be staggered kills. They're trying to push to 99%, but I don't know if maybe build up a little more ult charge, but not quite. Finally, Cataclysm are able to cap this back in overtime. And a little bit of hope possibly for the red team, looking to maybe have a shot at this first game. The losing team from this map will be able to pick the next map, so an opportunity maybe for them to come back through. Like we saw Insanity do, pick their second map, come back out and tie up the series that way. So I'm going to favor this approach. Allows teams to play the maps they like. Control points as good as any to set the beginning. There comes the Graviton coming through. I think actually that Graviton was eaten by Jav in the Diva. Now the Self-Destruct coming through onto the point. They try to go for the res and can't find it. 4 members down now for Cataclysm as Fissure really starting to turn the screw. Jav's able to get the just one back onto the Reinhardt, but I think Fissure have this win easily. Ethan drops to the beam here from Joseph, and as Fissure collapses back onto the point, I think they do have the numbers advantage, but they don't yet have the point. Finally, it does flip back. We're in overtime, but Transcendence coming back through from Sackmeister just to continue up the contest, but nobody on point really for him to help, except maybe his Diva. Valkyrie now out for Fissure. Overtime meter starting to tick down. We'll see if they have any more contesting members. Still somebody as the kills go the way of Fissure. However, Tico able to get the pulse bomb there, and maybe the Winston, a few more members coming in for Cataclysm. Maybe they can start turning this back the other direction, but now Joseph able to get a kill. Now I think still Fissure have this one in the bag, and that'll be it. Oasis goes to Fissure. Cataclysm in a little bit of trouble. Oh, who's shocked? The combination here from Fissure was just a sight to behold. A beautiful Graviton. Then the Rocket Barrage coming through, catches 5 people. And, yeah, you couldn't scripted it better than that. It goes back for seconds, Ethan dropping. It's a team kill for Fissure, and they come away in a very strong Oasis round. We have a short intermission. We'll get you back into the CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase just after this.
Right. This was kind of fun. Game chat coming in on Temple to do this. Just really honestly, heads up, warrior play, trying to keep everybody alive, do what he can. Rocket Rush comes out and fades right out of the way. Pops a coalescence, trying to keep those tanks up. Defense goes on hold. And yeah, just really solid warrior play.
Support top plays.
Exactly. Electric Slump coming in. Actually, a lot of Junkrat top plays here. This not even using the tire coming through. Sarge had this game, and Boost and Co. getting the win, like you said, coming in as Junkrat doing some work. Milkboy, like you mentioned, Switch in this game. P9 versus Chaotic, getting the triple. Boof off the side. Lucio Orisa out of commission, and getting the punch on the Brigida as well. Miko was looking good. Tank last week, and a DPS Doomfist this week. A lot of fun to watch. Coming in 6, Gaming Sorcerer here. It was a triple bomb coming in from Desert Frost in the Desert Legion Gaming versus Mountains game. Gaming Sorcerer came with a triple right afterwards, cleaned up the point. Mountains and Desert Legion, like I said, go on to tie that game. And the Apollo for Capitalism coming through with a Dragon Blade absolutely dirty, catching a couple of the sound barrier, helping keep him up, and you're just doing a really solid job there now. Steve's Hundy's insta-lock, looking very good on Diva, comes in with a bomb, catches 3, the work's not done, climbs back to the mech, goes for the Ana up on the high ground, and that's the kind of deep play you like to see. Really solid there. You talked about
Wait, did that bomb come in his bomb?
Yeah, well, you got like 3 of them in the middle of the point. Duck doing the same, catching 3 right in the middle there, and they were going to hold that point right there. Leo, yeah, would lose at round 6 and 6, but what can you do? Necrotic damage here for DGBR, winning over Alacrity and just popping off. It was a quintuple kill to them with a team kill, and Necrotic damage showing off. Build, fantastic combo here over the top. All Octavius had this game. It's an EMP triple tire coming through for Instalock, and yeah, top plays, man. Just top plays.
And welcome back to the Console Gaming League PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. Fissure and Cataclysm, what a match so far. Fissure, very solid coordination coming through and able to take down Cataclysm in 2 maps on Lijiang, but Cataclysm coming out with a payload map. It will be Watchpoint Gibraltar, and kind of what you see sometimes. I know we were kind of talking about this in the Space, Esports, and Insanity game, where a team loses that control point first and goes complete opposite end of the spectrum, picks up the escort map, and sometimes that can play into their favor. Trying that again here, Watchpoint against the classic map, and should be a good time. Just waiting on the readies from both sides. Just a quick score update, guys. It was Insanity is the first team out of the playoffs, or out of the tournament rather, as Absolute Edge able to take them down in the first game in the losers bracket. So Insanity is out, and Absolute Edge goes on for a little bit longer. Teams are ready to go, so we shoot a watch point.
Arriving at Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Visual will be defending first here on Watchpoint. Oh, maybe they want to pause. Let me check on that very briefly while we know that at least the game hasn't started yet. Let me make sure we've got a Alright, looks like we're fine. Thank you guys for your patience. A few delays in this, just in the tournament. We're trying to get everybody all squared away. It's just fidget with the mind games, I guess. Cataclysm coming and attacking first, looking to improve on that performance on Lijiang Tower. Maybe possibly taking advantage of some of the, obviously those late spawns not coming in from the defenders, but they're coming back in. Coming directly down underneath this first section. Looks like everybody's all good. Sacrificing the high ground though, that's going to be a little bit difficult for Fissure, but as they come in to start defending here, they may have a little bit of trouble in the backline. Dives coming in from the attackers. They've got the Winston D.Va just looking for a good space, maybe finding a few members. The Reapers in the back, and that could prove a little bit difficult for Cyber Ninja, but they're able to repel the threat. Now Winston in, but gets completely eliminated there from the top. Supreme on the high ground, finally attacked by the D.Va, but I think Fissure, the defense, is able to clean up even with that kind of late start for them. Nice striking there from Supreme, getting down Sackmeister, and yeah, kills going the way of Fissure. They pick up where they left off on Lijiang Tower, in control of the game. Few swaps coming through. Last Baron now over to an Ana, hoping maybe that healing is going to be the ticket for them. Cyber Ninja off of Winston as well. They go over to a more traditional Reinhardt. Still with the D.Va though. Tico onto a Tracer for the other side. And getting a kill quickly, offsetting the fight for them. The defense, again, just starting really well. Recall gone for now this defensive Tracer. Tico gets another kill onto the support. Mad Max with a third, and Cataclysm kind of scattered right now. Yeah, the rest of the defense coming through. Cataclysm having a hard time breaking through this wall, and I think, yeah, already half of the time bank down, so hopefully ultimates build a little bit more quickly here for Cataclysm. A little disadvantaged by the fact that they did reset some heroes, so they didn't have that advantage, but they could find themselves in a bit of trouble, though. Pin coming through from Excel, not quite able to catch anybody, and goes down for it. Exhibit's dropping, so now it's a 5v4 here for the attackers. They finally have a little bit of space. Pin all the way through. Mad Max in a tough spot underneath 100 health, but they've got the Valkyrie up from Tactics to try and keep that tank in the fold. Is able to escape the threat, now back up to a much more reasonable level of health, but the attack has the space they need, and they start to push the payload in towards the checkpoint. Late contest. We'll see if they can get through the pin coming in and is able to take down Exhibit, so the rally completely nullified. Cyber Ninja here with a Shatter, maybe looking for a chance to use it, but they may not need it. Getting all the kills here, less than a meter away, and finally will cap the point. 3 minutes and 52 seconds remaining here for the attackers, Cataclysm. And even that late contest coming through from Fissure wasn't quite enough, and they'll lose a few members. Tactics now staggered, will have the long spawn. Tico on that long walk as well. And Cataclysm have a chance now in the midsection to be aggressive in pushing out on their attack and see if they can create a little bit more space, make up some more time in the third section that they lost in the first. 6 ultimates for the attackers. We'll see how they come in and use them. Definitely no reason to be too over-enthusiastic, but we'll see how they try and engage this. Defenders dropping down now immediately, and the attack forced to back off, maybe to the safety behind the payload here. Bomb coming in over the top for the D.Va. Catches 2. Tico and Mad Max both down. The Graviton will not be helpful. Last Baron will pick up Exhibits, and Cataclysm just able to continue getting the kills here, winning the team fight. Still 3 minutes on the clock for them in this second section. Much more expedient than the first. They'll cap B and get a little bit more time. 4 minutes and 24 seconds now going into the final section. Starting to look a lot better. Shatter coming in from Cyber Ninja. Catches a couple. The kill still going the way of Cataclysm. Tactics in the back, maybe trying to influence, but we'll just, I think, jump off the side and reset. Maybe try and see if we can get back. Yeah, there's Tactics going. Still 3 ultimates available, including a Nano Deadeye from Last Baron and Ethan. Men are Mortal also definitely a candidate here. You see how far up Cyber Ninja's pushing away from the payload. Just make sure that, able to continue letting it push in behind them. They're doing a really good job, the tank line of Cataclysm, of creating space on this attack. Now here comes the Deadeye coming out. Stunned, the shield goes down, only able to pick up Tico in the sky on the Pharah. Reasonable swap as now Cataclysm still have the advantage. Here comes Men Are Mortal, who I think has a Meteor Strike up. Yeah, just all the kills going to waste. Look at the space that the payload has to continue pushing, and the defender's having a hard time even getting close to the point. Supreme now on the Tracer trying to contest, but we are 4.55 meters away. Cyber Ninja with the Nano. May have missed the actual target, just still sitting here with the shield up, but payload 2.67 meters away now, inching ever closer as the defenders start to spill out. Here comes Exhibit's Transcendence, and that could be it here for Fissure. Can make it a little bit easier for them to continue defending. Shatter comes in, but I don't think it actually catches anybody there as the defense continues to get reinforcements. F able to get another kill onto Exhibits, and there's the double Deadeye. Madman and Excel both dropping, and the kills going the way of Cataclysm once more. A slight contest coming in from Tico, but will be completely run over, and Cataclysm, with time on the clock, will cap Gibraltar.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
So fantastic cap there for Cataclysm, a strong attack from them. Fissure, obviously, that initial defense, they started out delayed, right? But then the defense was very strong there in the beginning, and just right there towards the death, Cataclysm able to cap the first checkpoint. It kind of snowballed from there. So now with time on the clock, definitely a stronger finish to that round than their start. Fissure trying to equalize, kind of level the playing field, so to speak, get a strong cap of their own. But Cataclysm now, with this momentum from having a very successful first round, have a chance to tie up the series here with a strong performance in round 2.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Coming out here for the attackers, Mad Max on the Diva as Tico goes over to the Doomfist. Tactics on a Moira now off the Mercy. Supreme Errands on a Soldier as Exhibits goes Lucio. Excel on the Reinhardt here. For the defenders, Cataclysm, it's Cyber Ninja on the Winston as Javit goes over to the Diva again. Last Baron on a Mercy. Ethan, McCree, Metamortal on a Doomfist. Sackmeister going Zenyatta. Actually, the Doomfist switch off here for Fissure. They decide opt out of the Doomfist. Cataclysm, the defenders, taking the fight a little bit early and able to get Supreme Errands out of mech, so already a bit advantaged in the fight, albeit briefly. Payload continues to roll underneath, though. They'll have to drop down and engage. Cyber Ninja with another kill, though, will really put things in the favor of the team in red. Tactics answers one back here on the Moira. Men are Moral caught out, but still continuing to attack well. I think I like this aggression here from Excel. You see he's pushing up a little bit. Has the support of the Zarya to keep him bubbled, but a nice left trigger there from Sackmeister on the Zenyatta up on the high ground. He's able to kind of at least stall them momentarily. Tactics doing a really good job on the Moira, but looks like they will be able to cap A. And very strong push here from Fissure, responding very well to that initial round where, again, like I said, looked like they would have a strong defense, but kind of fell off a little bit. 5 minutes and 20 seconds going into the center section. They're looking for those staggered kills, and again, it's Excel just pushing up, trying to create some more space here for the team in the payload. Ultimates building for both sides. It's a sound barrier here for Exhibits. For Fissure, Excel has the Shatter as well. 3 ultimates for the defenders. Baron with the Valkyrie as Ethan and Men Are Mortal both have DPS ultimates for them. Fight existing here in the center. It's a self-destruct coming through. Doesn't catch anybody, but the Deadeye is able to find tactics. That'll be helpful for the defenders' Cataclysm. Cyber Ninja has a Primal Rage. Probably just waiting until the health gets right at the right spot to use it. Still a lot of ultimates for Cataclysm. They're continuing to get the kills slowly but surely. Now a sound barrier out for the attackers will definitely help. Here's the Primal Rage from Cyber Ninja looking to clear people off the point. The Graviton coming through catches quite a few, but the Transcendence is able to protect all of them. Spectacularly timed there from Sackmaster, just keeping the team alive. Cataclysm just capitalize on that, able to get a couple picks here. And a nice defensive stop for Cataclysm in the center section.
My healing spell is upon you.
Support ultimates available. Excel with another Shatter. Coalescence coming out now from Tactics. Already the kills going the way of Fissure, and they could be responding very well here. Straight back to the payload and letting the fight kind of build up behind them. Now it's Cyber Ninja back onto the point. Has no help, though, and drops immediately. Still a few members on the higher ground, but I think it's just the two supports, Sackmeister and Last Baron, not really able to contest this payload, and they'll just have to see it list into the checkpoint. But finally, reinforcements coming back in for the defenders. Cataclysm. It's another Deadeye here for Ethan, looking for anything. Hasn't found it yet, but they still ultimates available here for the attackers. Meteor Strike coming in, able to catch exhibits. Finds a punch onto Madman and Tactics as well, and this Doomfist absolutely popping off. Another hold here for Cataclysm, 2.86 meters away. They continue to whittle down the time bank. Expect a strong approach here from Fissure on their next attack. They still have the Shadow from Excel. I'm kind of curious as to why they haven't used that yet. But they'll have the Graviton. They've got it. Yeah, actually, they'll have about 5 ultimates for this next fight. Exhibits the second furthest away at 90%. So expect they'll have that available. Men are Mortal back at it with a punch directly into the tanks, trying to separate that front line. Self-destruct coming in over the top from Jav. Finds nobody, but here's a Graviton coming in from the attackers. May find a couple, but again, it's Sackmeister with the Transcendence twice this game, saving his team with a solidly used Transcendence. Exhibits now with the sound barrier for the attacks, try and respond to the support ultimate from the other side. Kills going back and forth. Payload 1.35 meters away. Kills maybe starting to go the way of Fissure, though. Kill feed lighting up blue for them as Jav drops out of mech. I think that will be a cap at B. Men are Mortal doing his level best, but that's going to be it. An additional 4 minutes now on the clock for Fissure. Or rather, a total of 4 minutes. Still getting the kills, though. A lot of those early spawns caught out, and a good attention to detail from Fissure just to go after them directly. Tico looking maybe for a little bit of charge. Cataclysm not really worried about it. Not wanting to entertain, but maybe providing a little bit. Now the bubble's gone for them. Attackers still pushing well. Time banks could be near identical if they continue pushing at the same rate they have, but, I mean, we'll see if Cataclysm can just continue melting down and bleeding down that time bank. It's Coalescence coming out here from Tactics. Used nicely to keeping the tanks up, but also putting in the damage as well. Benefiting for it. Kills going the way of Fissure. 3 quick ones here. Meteor Strike coming in from Men are Mortal. Isn't able to answer one back for Cataclysm. Still Supreme Errands here. Chasing down that Doomfist and dropping him. Yeah, just nice pressure here from Fissure. 10 seconds difference in the time bank as they continue fighting. It should be a good contention, though, coming in from the defenders. Cataclysm, but Cyber Ninja, not doing anybody any favors. Caught out immediately from Mad Max. Here comes the defensive Dragon Strike, who is able to find that Brigida. Self-destruct from Jab, finds another one. I think it's a 4v4 now. Supreme gets in the mix, but now the defense really starts to hold on. As self-destruct finds nobody. The payload almost goes because no one's touching it, but I still think the defense has the advantage here. Yeah, Supreme thinks so too. Jumps off the side, and they'll live to fight at least another day. Cataclysm now officially in the lead, as even if Fissure are able to cap this, they'll have a smaller time bank, but it may not matter. Cataclysm responding well to that initial loss, looking like a completely different side. There's a speed boost coming in from the attackers' Fissure. They've got the sound barrier they may use to engage at this point. They've still got the shatter as well. Here comes Exhibit sound barrier. Trying to keep everybody up. Supreme Aaron's off to a fantastic start. Ethan's down for them. Very close to a Dragon Strike, but can't benefit. Supreme with the second as Excel gets in. These tanks are doing a fantastic job. And just late, Sack is forced to use the Transcendence to try and keep everybody up, but I think it is all Fissure on this fight. But still the defense continues to stall, and that's going to be helpful for them as they've got the shorter respawn, obviously. Graviton coming through the Dragons as well. The kills going the way of Fissure. Payload finally able to move in freely. They've got the Meteor Strike waiting for the last possible second to contest it, but he can't get in time, and that's going to do it. Round 2 is complete. Fissure complete the map, but Catalysm still a little bit in the driver's seat.
Score 3-3.
So completed the map, but about a minute and 10 seconds down in the time bank relative to Cataclysm. So we'll be Fissure attacking first. Started finding some answers there in the third section, but I think Cataclysm's defense was pretty solid. See if they can hold them here. Obviously, watch point. You know, so many times you see teams able to push the map. If you get those late kills at the first section, definitely stagger in the middle, and you may have an overtime push that takes you through 2 checkpoints. So definitely not unthinkable. Obviously, at this level, team's pretty good. Pretty good. So I feel like they'll have a good strategy coming into it, and we'll see how they react in this third round. Remember, a best of 3 series means Fissure looking to put in a good attack here, a strong defense, and finish this up in 2 maps. Cataclysm, with a win in this game, forces the third of the series, where Fissure will be picking another map. Coming out for the attackers, Mad Max on the Brigida, Tico on a Zarya. Tactics played well on Moira in the second round. First and second round, doing it again. So here, Supreme Aaron's on the Divas, Exhibits goes Lucio. Same comp here for Fissure. Cyber Ninja and Jab over on the dive tanks for the defenders. Last Baron on Mercy. Ethan over to a Hanzo. Men Immortal still in the Doomfist. Sackmeister with those clutch transcendences back on Zenyatta. Immediately, though, Men Immortal able to get a pickup onto Exhibit, and things going well for the defenders to start. You're not going to have too many opportunities for a team fight, but definitely long enough to get to ultimates. Still, though, I think still things going the way of... Oh, started turning back the other direction. Tico able to grab a neat double. And although Sackmeister was able to take down Tactics, the payload starts to push. And again, that shorter respawn just always benefiting here. Now, you can technically lose members because with that respawn, it's almost like a... You know, you've got maybe it's an 8v6, right? 9v6, depending on how that fight goes and how long you're able to stall and continue getting in your reinforcements. So now, as the payload continues to push, you expect a late challenge here from the defenders. They do so as Cyber Ninja drops in on the Winston, has some help. Men Immortal's able to get a quick pick, but they offset here. Still 5v5. Tico, Tactics, Supreme Aaron, everybody here for Fissure getting into the mix, and the payload should be able to cap B comfortably. This is just a Transcendence, or a Zenyatta in their way. 36 seconds now, no additional time for the attackers Fissure, but they've got a lot of ultimates right on the horizon. The defenders do as well, however. For the attack, Fissure, Junior Tico very close to a Graviton Tactics Coalescence as well. They can combine those, obviously. Supreme Aaron's with the self-destruct on the way. Tico getting that pick onto Ethan, though, is going to be big. Has the Dragon Strike, but we'll have to wait to use it. 10 seconds now as the payload starts to round this corner in the middle section. Now the approach coming through. They saw an opportunity and jumped out immediately. Cyber Ninja tried to go for Tactics but couldn't find it. The Transcendence was out as well but couldn't save that Winston. Now the Graviton coming out. They've got the Valkyrie Mercy in there as well. The self-destruct coming through just to get the mech back here from Jav. Isn't able to find anybody, but kill still going the way of Fissure. Mad Max able to take down Men Immortal. Members dropping quickly for the red team. Continuing to push the payload here and doing a very solid job. I think just that the coordination on that initial attack, Cyber Ninja was able to just dropped a little bit too early, but now it's a primal rage just to try and continue up the stall. Still members of Fissure outnumber him, and a short focus finally will drop. See if any additional contention comes through, but I don't think so. Looks like, yeah, solid response here from Fissure, continuing to push the payload in overtime. They still don't get any additional time, but a few kills early on could really offset this fight and give them a lot more real estate to eat up. There it is. Tico able to pick up Sackmeister immediately, and Fissure's looking very good right now. Excel able to take Javadamek. Fissure not worried about the smaller time bank, pushing just as aggressively regardless. Sackmeister back into the phrase. The res comes through from Last Baron. Here comes a Coalescence right in behind the team just to make sure the tanks stay up, and they've got a little bit of attack coming through. The Dragon Strike may catch a couple, but it's a nice sound barrier here. It's all support ultimates now as the Transcendence comes through from Sackmeister. I think that shadow went directly into the shield. They couldn't get a lot of benefit out of it, but regardless, Fissure's still getting the kills they need. Supreme Aaron's absolutely popping off here on the Diva. Kills left and right for this Diva player, and yeah, in overtime, continuing to push the payload. I don't think anybody's going to be able to come out to contest this. Maybe the self-destruct for good measures to keep everybody back, but wow, what a third round here for Fissure, capping the map again.
Score 6-3. Switching sides.
So now no time left, but a spectacular third round for Fissure. Cataclysm looking to match them and have a little bit more time with which to do so. So we'll see if they can match this up or if Fissure find a stronger defense. Again, we saw Fissure defend really well on that first point. And obviously there's significantly less time in the bank now than there was, I guess, you know, just under a minute less than Fissure had to begin with. So, or then Cataclysm had, rather, I apologize. Regardless, we'll see if Cataclysm can come out with just as strong of an attack. Sometimes it can be a little demoralizing letting a team that's in overtime completely push all the way through. They did get B and the final checkpoint in overtime, so it's puts you in kind of a tough spot and kind of, you know, digging a hole for yourself. But again, Cataclysm, a good team with a lot of time to work with and an opportunity for them to tie up this game at 6. Coming out aggressively, Fisher still with the same kind of defense they had the first time, a little bit further back than you'd expect, but already getting kills. Supreme Aaron switching the Diva for the Soldier, and now taking down Meta Immortal immediately, and that is not going to help if you're Cataclysm. But again, shorter respawn, they've got time to get that Doomfist back into the fold, and Meta Immortal's been playing very well on the Doomfist so far. Still pushing the payload underneath. The defense has not yet rotated. Maybe starting to move down now. They've got the Reinhardt Excel back here, just trying to zone out the attack. Sees an opportunity for a pin, has a bubble, can't quite find it there, but in his opposite, I think will be able, yeah, Cyber Ninja also on the Reinhardt, they're able to get back to a little bit more health. Complete just chaos underneath here around this Mega, but it's Fissure starting to get the picks. Here comes the Shatter from Excel, oh my god. Really nice coordination there from Fissure, and just individual effort there by Excel. Yeah, good stuff there from Fissure, and that is the exclamation point on that initial defense. Just 1 minute and 53 seconds left, but Cataclysm still with a lot of time. Shatter of his own, looking for the perfect opportunity to use the defenders, using this kind of ramp in the street as a bit of a high ground here. Payload continues to push a little bit. Now here comes the Shadow, but they can see it coming, able to position the shield behind it, so it's not going to affect them at all. And now Supreme up on the high ground, taking down the Reinhardt. So yeah, it booped into the air a little bit, and then kind of played his hand because everybody knew the Shadow was coming. So kind of unlucky there for Cataclysm. They'll have to reset now without that ultimate, but they do have a few more instead. Excel just still swinging away back here, picking up Meta Immortal. No one's safe from this Reinhardt. Madman just everywhere. Still possible stagger on the Baby Diva. They'll leave her alive for a little while, but oh, maybe not too long. Finally we'll take it down, and that's just brutal there for Fissure. Now under 60 seconds, looking very solid are the defenders, and looking to completely take this series here after a first round that saw like Cataclysm kind of look like that maybe they would come back and tie this thing up. A lot of ultimates here, though, for the defenders. A lot of ultimates, and it doesn't look good here for the attack. Here comes the Coalescence and the Graviton combo coming through. Ethan, the only one caught. But I think a sound barrier coming out from Sackmeister, expertly timed, able to just keep everybody up in the middle of that onslaught. A sound barrier from the other side is Exhibits. Now trying to help out Tico with the Meteor Smash. Isn't able to find anybody, but now in the middle of the fray and looking to catch a couple kills. Self-destruct coming out from Jab actually catches him through the doorway. That's a little unlucky. Sometimes you feel like you'll be safe from those, but down regardless. Supreme, the only one with the Tactical Visor or any kind of ultimate on the just on the payload now, or in the fold at all. Fissure 5 seconds away from winning the series, though. We'll see if anybody can come back in and contest. Jab, the closest one, and we'll get back down to the payload to force the overtime. All comes down to this, though. Here comes the Graviton Surge from the attackers. Catches everybody, but they can't quite capitalize. Able to get one pick, but it's kill swapping either side. Tico on the Doomfist, giving them a little bit of hope. Here comes the Graviton from the other direction. The Tactical Visor from Supreme is already starting to cause some problems here. I don't know if Cataclysm can keep this up, but Cyber Ninja doing his level best on the Reinhardt finally drops. It's just a few members left. Jab, the only one trying to get back. Meta Immortal trying to continue the overtime, but just powered down. Just can't get there, and Fissure take this game.
Play of the game.
Nice double Deadeye from Ethan here towards the end. Really well timed. I'll play him cap this point. Both tanks down, and then just clean up work there for Cataclysm. And again, in that first round, they looked like they were going to be in a much better position to tie up the series, but Fissure just with a dominant round 3. Don't think anybody really saw that coming. Fissure able to snap up the map and take this 2. They'll advance, and Cataclysm drop to the losers bracket. We'll be right back with more of the PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase presented by CGL right after this. And welcome back to the CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. Solid series there. Fissure comes away with the victory over Cataclysm 2-0. And Cataclysm dropping down to the losers bracket. Up next, it's Fissure against Juegas. This is a rivalry, Fissure and Fracture. Fracture just recently changed the name. So, excited for this one. And getting a chance to see these teams play. Fissure just put on a clinic in that last game. So, I'm looking to see what they have here against a this Juegas team. I think won their first game against... I believe that was Absolute Edge, who may also be Paranoia. I know, it's confusing. I think we do have everybody. Just waiting on one here in the lobby, so let's give you a short intermission, and we'll be right back with the rest of the tournament. Welcome back to the Console Gaming League PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. We've got Fissure, who just cleaned up Cataclysm in that last game up against Juegas, who was coming off a win, I believe, over, I believe that was Paranoia, who also have a different name, AE. But regardless, AE, I think, is also taking their second loss, and they'll be out as well, joining Insanity in those eliminated from the tournament. Things ramping up here, though. We've got some games ongoing, and excited to get this one kicked off. Apparently, these two teams have a little bit of history with each other, so looking forward to seeing how that plays out over the course of these 2, possibly 3 rounds. Get I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, and I think we have readies from both sides. So without further ado, we'll get you into Oasis. It's already proving to be a pretty exciting showcase. Again, as a Console Gaming League, we've just added PlayStation 4 support, and excited to get Season 6 PlayStation 4 gameplay to you as well. It'll be coming up here in the next couple weeks. But yeah, what a way to cut the ribbon on the PlayStation 4 platform with some excellent GM Overwatch here. We'll be starting our Season 6 after the playoffs. The playoffs starting this Monday is when teams can start scheduling those games. It'll be the Challenger, Contender, and Rival tier quarterfinals in starting this week, and then the next week it'll be Carbon and Champion joining them. Looking to have the same level of top to bottom support for the PlayStation platform as well. So make sure you're in the Discord. Link below the Twitch stream, and you'll be able to stay up to date when that announcement goes out for Season 6, when signups are available, all that good stuff. Coming out here, the team Fissure we just saw recently, now coming back out on the left in the blue. Joseph subbing back in on the Zarya as Junior Tico goes Tracer. Excel and Reinhardt, Supreme Aaron's yet undecided as Exhibits and Tactics fill out the support roles, Mercy, Lucio respectively. Supreme decides to go onto a Pharah. For the red team Juegas, it's Gibbery going Ana as Dragon Envy goes Moira. Sacred on the Doomfist, now maybe switching Pharah. Slayer on Tracer. Abduct going Symmetra possibly. And Aked going on the Reinhardt. Cadmic? I think it's a Cadmic. That's what we'll go with. Abduct going over to Zarya instead. A lot of swaps coming through. A lot of swaps. A lot of changes. Really, I'll just have to wait next time. Next time I just won't say anything until after we actually get everybody picked. Regardless, coming in immediately, it is just Sacred sticking to the Pharah, just the one Pharah here, damaging over the top immediately in Excel. We've got a spectacular previous game coming in aggressively like you'd expect. This Pharah still completely, no one really wanted to deal with it so far. Excel getting the first kill on a Slayer and things going the way of Fissure early. Joseph adding one as well. It's a 6v4 for the team in blue, and as Juegas retreats, it's going to be a cap early for Fissure. So even with the Pharah, they totally just kind of ignored it and got the kills on the ground, and then forced Sacred to retreat from a numbers perspective, but still putting in some work. 67% to a Rocket Barrage and a Nano from Gibbery, just 16% away as well, so that could be a dirty combination here. They get the opportunity. Still damage raining in, 25% gone now for Fissure on the point. Juegas looking for something to get them back into it. It could be that right there. Excel dropping his Abduct on the Zarya, able to take him down. Supreme goes over the side as well. Kind of force out there a little bit. Here comes the Graviton Surge, catches a couple, but no ultimates to combine with it. Regardless, I think it is Juegas getting a little bit more, a little better space here on the point, I think, to be able to cap this. %43 gone here for Fissure. Tons of ultimates for the current point defender Juegas, and expect a few of them soon. Could be Slayer going in the back looking for a lonely support they can stick a pulse bomb to. Ultimates building though for the attacking team now as well. Fissure's coming out, the Graviton coming through, the key Rocket Barrage combination. Sacred able to catch a couple, looking for another one. Oh, what a combination there from Juegas coming back onto the point. Just completely anticipating the approach and able to invest those ultimates well. Solid combination. And Fissure forced to retreat. Now coming back onto the point. Juegas booped down to the low section. That's kind of difficult at this point because obviously it takes so long to get back up to the surface. But now a sound barrier coming out from Fissure to try and keep everybody up. Tactics, solid support job. Here comes the Shadow. I think catches a couple, and they may be able to capitalize on those. Now they're taking down its opposite here. Here comes a CAD with the Nano Boost. Self-destruct coming in over the top. Is able to catch Slayer. It's hard to tell who really has the advantage, but I think it is Huegas who may be able to come back and cap this point as Fissure start to pass them. Yeah, and right after it, they've got 56% trying to get the point back. 65 here for Fissures. Now they've started to take the lead. There's a sleep onto Exhibits, and then Academic is able to go back in and take down that Moira. Excel with the Shatter for Fissure, but a lot of ultimates still available, including the Graviton and Rocket Barrage combination here from Abduct and Sacred. So, see, probably anticipate that approach again. Supreme Aaron on the Diva, though, just looking for an opportunity to eat it. I think had an eat in the last one. Can't catch this one, though. The Rocket Barrage coming through is able to find a couple Excel drops. Kill still going the way here of Huegas. Supreme Aaron's caught out a little bit and getting just melted down. A cat on the Reinhardt absolutely popping off. Yeah, solid cleanup, and that should be the end of this round. I don't think anybody will be able to come back to contest this. Could be wrong. Maybe with 7 seconds, possibly. You see the silhouettes of them trying to get out there. Aggressive defense, though, from Huegas, just trying to keep everybody away from the point. They will be able to get back in time. Yeah, Tactics finally in over the top on the Lucio. They've got a Valkyrie up as well from Dragon Envy. Fissure starting to drop quickly. Excel able to get a pick, but that's just about it for them. Yeah, Huegas, I think, just lighting up the kill feed here. Just a couple members. Tactics trying to hold on as long as possible. Exhibit still in as well, but I think doesn't have a fade. Time for the cooldown to come back. Drops, and yeah, the Dragon Strike is just the icing on the cake. Maybe Joes will be able to come back and touch, but I think that's just about it. Huegas take the first round on Oasis. Solid first round there from Huegas, looking to build on that and take this first round quickly. Some swaps coming through, though, for Fissure as Supreme Aaron's now over to a Soldier. Going for Fair this time. Both Fairs up, trying to get damage in early and build those Rocket Barrages. Just a few directs will build it pretty quickly, so just looking to get that advantage early. The team kind of coming into the point a little separately. It's just Tactics and Excel down here on the low ground, but they will take the fight here with Abduct on the Diva, who I think doesn't know anything about it. Supreme Aaron takes down his opposite Sacred, and Fissure already have a bit of the advantage as the control point starts to open up here. A lot of just micro fights happening in and around the point, but not really a whole team fight. Tico able to continue adding it on here for Fissures. They continue getting the kills they need to take over the point. A retreat coming through from Huegas, but only momentarily. Looks like they had a few, I think, yeah, just trying to get out there. The dive tanks kind of came down as if they were about to attack or something, but finally decided to peel. But now just a few staggers coming through as Huegas need to regroup a little bit. 16% gone now for Fissure. Nice start to this round for them. Dragon Envy already with a Valkyrie, though. Slayer has it was 85% to a Pulse Bomb, but decided to swap over to the Widowmaker instead and see if that could be the answer for them. Tico with a Pulse Bomb, uses it here, isn't able to catch Gibbery, though, who just takes down the Tracer easily with a stun. Excel with a Shatter, and Supreme, though, with a Rocket Barrage could combine well. Just very close to a Graviton, so you should see Fissure, if, you know, they're given a little bit too much time here, it could be difficult for Huegas to turn this back the other direction. Shatter goes into nothing, actually. I think Akad was able to get out of the way. Has time to earn the Primal Rage, and that could have gone very differently, but now back up and able to continue this contention. Now the Graviton in on the top, just to take out the high ground a little bit. Rocket's coming in from Supreme, but Abduct's able to hold his own. Sacred's helping out to take down the Pharah. Fissure, I think, still have the advantage in this fight, though. Yeah, and again, able to clean up those kills. They hold on a little bit longer. Huegas making some swaps now. Swap coming in, Abduct off the Diva, going Zarya instead. Gibbery on a Lucio, off the Brigida. For Fissure, they're building ultimates again. They've got the Sound Barrier on the way, a Shatter right over the horizon. Supreme Aaron's has a Rocket Barrage, and they've got the Pulse Bomb in seconds. So 4 ultimates here. Sacred starts it off, able to get a kill into Joseph, but then drops. Pulse Bomb goes the other direction. Here's the res, though. So Sacred back in. Supreme takes advantage of the opportunity and gets another 2 picks before dropping to Abduct. So, again, it looks like Fissure with the advantage. Overtime meter starts to drop down. They've tied up the series.
Hello, just a scratch. Score 1-1.
Remember your training, and we'll get through this just fine. You should be a
Now see what I can do.
So now all tied up on Oasis. Who will take this first game of the series as the tournament starts to heat up a little bit towards these later rounds? Teams feel fresh. Maybe not as fresh, but they're at least warmed up, right?
3, 2, 1. Round 3. Capture the objective.
Slayer going Sombra. Do like some good Sombra plays. We'll see. Obviously, this middle Mega's going to be crucial to hold on to when you take the fights on this kind of upper little section here. Nice purple in onto the defenders, and now it's going to be Huegas completely capitalizing. Solid purple in there from Jibri on the Ana, and then just you saw the collapse come in from the team in red. Control point opening in about 4 seconds, but I think they'll be able to cap that without much difficulty. Solid coordination there from Huegas, and I liked how they're coming out in this fight. Fantastic purple there from Jibri, the bio grenade into the fold there, just into the group, and just completely collapsing there from the defenders. Very solid. Already 57% to a nano boost. Another purple in. This one doesn't quite connect, but maybe nice little health here. A cat just given free reign to kind of come up and bully his opposite Reinhardt. We'll see if he gets the kill, but he's got a little bit of protection from the Mercy back there. That's exhibits on Mercy for Fissure. Giving the tank a little bit of help, and Excel able again just to kind of move up, be aggressive. Got good support from the Zarya as well. Now a pin in, but only helping to fuel Abduct's kind of Graviton. Yeah, now nano boosted 93% to this Graviton. Very high charge here from Abduct, 80% or so, and just trying to melt down these targets. Here comes the Rocket Barrage, though, from Supreme Air, and able to catch 1 kills, going the way of Fissure, even as Huegas and Abduct start to look like they're in a good position. Difficult to lose that charge there. Res coming back onto the point for Fissure. Kind of an odd... Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Second, I thought they were going to be caught out, but Exhibits showing some good positioning there, able to get the res through. 4 ultimates, though, for the red team Huegas. 5, however, for Fissure. So this next fight should be obviously just a who can hold on better to their ultimates and who can use them more effectively. Jibri able to get a quick pick onto Exhibits, though, and that'll be incredibly helpful for the team trying to come back in and take the point. Graviton coming out, though, from Fissure, able to catch a couple, but they can't quite capitalize on it. Here's the EMP coming out, though, from Slayer. I think caught everybody. Kill swapping back and forth. A cat looking for the perfect opportunity to shatter. Hasn't quite found it yet and may not need it. Just a nice little spin around there, catching Junior Tico. And the control point starting to threaten, maybe going back the other direction. Able to catch the Pre-Marians with a midair fire strike. Exhibit the only one left and just there to try and stall. Tactics back over to help now as well, but now the Mercy's down. Tactics drops, and finally they can flip the point back. 60% gone, 45% though from Fissure, and I think they'll be able to... I think take some positives away from having that. They'll have to come back in and attack, obviously. 2 ultimates for both sides. Supreme switching off the Fair now, going Soldier. Eliminating Sacred as a threat. Slayer now off the Sombra to a McCree, though, so maybe expecting that, seeing the hit scan, not wanting to deal with it. Here comes the combination again. Graviton able to catch both tanks, and the Graviton and the Rocket Barrage catches both Joseph and Excel. Another coordinated attack from Huegas. 90% to go now. Can they cap this 3rd round and take an early lead in the series? Valkyrie up preemptively for Dragon Envy is now as Junior Tico with a pulse bomb on the point, looking for targets. Hasn't quite found it. Excel's got a shatter as well. Pin coming through from a cat, doesn't really catch anybody, but still has the Valkyrie up to try and keep him just solvent on the point. Tico finds Slayer with the bomb, and that's a solid pick. There's the, oh my god, what a shatter there. Able to catch Abduct, who I think has the nano on, swinging away. Does have a bubble, though, so we'll see if the Zarya survives. Finally gets melted down. It looks good, but Excel with the shatter, able to flip the point back and keep Fissure alive in this fight. Yeah, being able to completely nullify the nano boost with a really nice shatter there. And just diving in on the Zarya, recognizing the target, finding the threat, and eliminating. Jibri over to a Brigida now. Bit of a different approach coming in from Huegas in what they hope is the last fight of the game if they can flip this back. Akkad with a shatter as well, able to peek around the side of the opposite Reinhardt shield, able to get Diva out of mech. Exhibit drops. Joseph in a tough spot. Supreme Aaron able to answer one back by taking Slayer out as the Widowmaker, but I still think the advantage goes the way of the red team here, Huegas. Tactics able to get Akkad. Now it's hard to tell. Really swapping back and forth. Fissure look like maybe they have a couple members here, and as they start to pick up a few more of these kills, they continue holding on to the point. 87% now, getting very close to a double overtime. Few members still on the point for Huegas. Here's the Graviton coming out, though. From the current point, attackers find a couple but can't quite capitalize. Supreme Aaron up with a tactical visor. Hasn't found anybody just yet, but it is able to take down Excel. It's a huge threat there for Fissure, getting them out of the way. Kill still swapping back and forth. The self-destruct coming through finds nobody. It's difficult to tell who has the advantage, but I think it's just supports left here for Fissure on the point. As the control point starts to tick back the other direction, Huegas think that maybe they can sneak away with this one. Starts to continue. They finally do drop the point back. Overtime meter starts to tick down, but able to get back just in time. It's Supreme on the Doomfist. Here comes the shatter directly into a shield. The overtime meter begging to drop immediately, and Akkad's in deep. That is tough from that Reinhardt, and they will not have the protection as now it's Fissure with more members on the point. Finally able to make it back. Difficult to tell who can really take this one, but now the kill's really starting to go the way of Huegas here. Another Graviton will help them continue cleaning up. Akkad completely popping off from this Reinhardt. As the overtime meter starts to drop down again, they're able to get back and continue contesting. Supreme just doing everything he can, but drops once more. It finally drops down, and that is it. Huegas take Oasis. Oh, what a game from these sides, and it's really impressive there. Fissure coming out very strongly. Obviously tossing Cataclysm aside, but yeah, Huegas making them work for it here. A solid game back and forth, a nice little Graviton at the end. Just try and solidify the win for them. Get the rest of these supports down. The overtime meter drops. That is it. Huegas up with an early lead in the series. We'll see what the map pick is coming in from Fissure. Having not been in this position in the tournament just yet. We'll see what they decide, and we'll be right back with CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase.
Right. This was kind of fun. Gumchat coming in on Temple to do this. Just really honestly, heads up warrior play, trying to keep everybody alive, do what he can. Rocket Brush comes out and fades right out of the way. Pops a coalescence, trying to keep those tanks up. Defense goes on hold. And yeah, just really solid warrior play.
Support top plays.
Exactly. Electric Slump coming in. Actually, a lot of Junkrat top plays here. This not even using the tire coming through. Sarge had this game, and Boosting Co. getting the win, like you said, coming in as Junkrat, doing some work. Milkboy, like you mentioned, Swift in this game, P9 versus Chaotic, getting the triple, Boop off the side, Lucio Orisa out of commission, and getting the punch on the Brigida as well. Milko was looking good, tank last week, and a DPS Doomfist this week. A lot of fun to watch. Coming in 6, Gaming Sorcerer here. It was a triple bomb coming in from Desert Frost in the Desert Legion Gaming versus Mountains game. Gaming Sorcerer came with a triple right afterwards, cleaned up the point. Mountains and Desert Legion, like I said, go on to tie that game. And the Apollo for Capitalism coming through with a Dragon Blade absolutely dirty, catching a couple of the sound barrier, helping keep him up, and you're just doing a really solid job there now. Steve's Hundy's insta-lock, looking very good on Diva, comes in with a bomb, catches 3, the work's not done, climbs back to the mech, goes for the Ana up on the high ground, and that's the kind of deep play you like to see. Really solid there. You talked about like that bomb coming in. Yeah, well, you got like 3 of them in the middle of the point. Duck doing the same, catching 3 right in the middle there, and they were going to hold that point. But there, Leo, yeah, would lose at round 66, but what can you do? Product Damage here for BGBR, winning over Alacrity and just popping off. I think it was a quintuple kill for them with the team kill, and the Product Damage showing off. Milk, fantastic combo here over the top. All Davies had this game. It's an EMP triple tire coming through for Instalock, and yeah, top plays, man, just top plays.
Welcome back to the CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. Vegas up early over Fissure after a really solid Oasis that just went right down to the depth. Now looking to capitalize here. The map pick coming out from Fissure is Blizzard World. It's kind of fun. Not one we see very often, so I'm excited for that. Vegas looking to win this in 2. Fissure looking to come back after a 2-0 victory of their own over Cataclysm. So we'll see how they respond here. Will be Fissure defending first, and they, I believe, defended first on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Had a pretty good defense, but then it was their 3rd round attack that really kind of set them apart and just ended any opportunity for Cataclysm to get back in the game. We'll see if this time they use it to get themselves back into the game, so we'll see. Coming out on the defense, it's Joseph on the Zarya as Tico goes Tracer. Excel on the Reinhardt, Premier going Soldier. Exhibit on Zenyatta as Tactics goes Mercy. It's a very, very mobile comp, should they keep it, coming out from Vegas. And this is that'll be an interesting look. If they had the Ana and Mercy with Sacred on the Genji, and then Slayer, if they had D.Va, they still will. Yeah, Slayer on the Winston, Ubdeck on the D.Va, and Academic on the Wrecking Ball. That is a lightning fast composition. You almost expect Jibri over on a Lucio, and that would be truly lightning fast, but I like the benefit that the Ana brings. Sacred now over to a Doomfist instead of the Genji. We'll see if that helps a little bit. Joseph running the Zarya could make it difficult to run the Genji. Fight coming out immediately. The defender's sitting a little bit further back on the point than you'd expect. Supreme Arian's able to get Dragon Envy early, and that's a big pick for them. Another support down, though, for the other side. Sacred also dropping, but the defenders, I think, have a bit of the advantage. I think they still have the numbers here. Tactics able to get Exhibit back up, so definitely more of the numbers. All 3 tanks still on the point here, but they don't have a lot of healing to help them. Slayer finally dropping, and yeah, it looks like it will be Fissure wrapping this up pretty easily. Habdeck drops off just to be able to regroup with the rest of the team. Tico able to pick up Jibri, and it's just going to be all charge for them. Jibri already 77% to a nano boost, though, so putting in some work already. A couple swaps coming out. They decide the mobile tank's not the answer. Abduck switching over to a Zarya as a CAD goes over to a Reinhardt. Slayer now onto a Widowmaker instead. So recognized immediately it wasn't working. Changed it up a little bit. They sacrificed a bit of the ult charge, so that could come to bite them later, but they still have definitely time to earn some and win some fights. Tico already with a 80% to a Pulse Bomb. Supreme Aaron 80% to a Tactical Visor, so the DPS for Fissure where they'd like to be. A lot of damage coming in immediately. Abduck in a very tough spot. Finally, the Mercy gets 2. There's the stick from the Pulse Bomb, but can't quite clean up the Zarya. Jibri here with the nano boost. Can't quite sleep onto the Tracer, who's kind of sitting in the back a little bit. The attacker still don't have a lot of space on the point, but Cat's able to get the pin onto Tactics. Excel dropping, though. The attack now really starting to get a lot of these kills. A Slayer gets back up via the rest from Dragon Envy, and I think Vegas actually starting to take the point. Will be able to finally cap here. 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock. And that kind of unfolded very slowly. It was difficult to tell exactly how it started happening, but then, eventually members start dropping here for the defenders, and Vegas finally capped the point. Definitely without the same kind of pop and circumstance we saw in some of these team fights in the last round, but getting the job done regardless. Sacred does decide to switch back over to the Genji. Originally was before switching over to the Doomfist, but over to the Genji now. See if that's the answer for them. Expecting the Tracer able to get away from the Sleep Dart, though. Has to recall to avoid the Bio Grenade from Jibri, who's played a very solid Ana. Here's the Nano Boost now onto a CAD, looking to push in heavily, but the Graviton from the other side will keep them in place, but allow the payload to continue moving because they were grabbed onto the payload. Still weren't able to make the most of that Nano, and they'll have to start retreating as some of the kills start to go the way of the defenders, but maybe earn a little bit of, I believe, a couple meters there. Either way, I don't think Fissure's going to be too upset about it. They still have 4 ultimates here. Only needed to invest the Graviton and were able to win that fight, so definitely advantage there. Now it's a Valkyrie up here for Tactics. Dragon Envy has one up as well. Both Valkyries for the teams. Here's the Shadow coming through, catches a couple, and the Graviton will collect the Transcendence, however. Coming out from Exhibits, just keeping everybody alive. That is spectacular. Excel's the only one to drop just right before the trains could come out. Joseph able to answer one back, and what a Transcendence, though, from Exhibits. The Reds coming back through on Excel, so they'll be able to continue holding, and that really could have gone south quickly for the defenders. Fast thinking Zenyatta play from Exhibits, able to offset that Graviton with a Transcendence. They still have the Shatter here. Tico close to a Pulse Bomb as well, so I like the pace at which Fissure are using their ultimates here. Sacred with a Dragon Blade, very close to another Nano, though, with Gibbery about 94% away. Expect that here in the next fight. Not really anything else to work with, so we'll have to kind of find the exact right time for this. You expect Sacred to try and find a little bit of high ground, hit that Nano and drop, but Gibbery's still not back. Maybe a Junior Tico Tracer giving that Ana a little bit of problems. There's the Nano coming in, Sacred coming in over the top. There's the Dragon Blade, sees Exhibits and cuts him down immediately. It's a bit of a retreat coming in from the defenders. We'll see if he can grab another kill here, but Acad will follow up with the pin. It's 3 kills for Huegas, and even if the Dragon Blade didn't really be the deciding factor in that fight, it definitely caught the defense off guard. They used the Dragon Blade, went in for the Zen, and then it was just chaos. I think they were focused on the Nano Blade, and you know, the attack from Huegas was able to get a couple more players. Slayer with a ridiculous shot on a Tico to take that Tracer down. I knew nothing about it when he was 2 feet away and able to turn around and get that shot. Abduct now getting a kill as well. Things looking good for the attackers. They continue getting these picks as the Zarya picks up a second. Acad in deep, swinging away, getting the kills as well. Excel drops, and Huegas looking very dominant on this Blizzard World attack. And still putting on the pressure. Abduct, who's earned another Graviton, still pushing even further in, looking for the staggers. Sacred able to get Joseph down, so still a 6v5 for the attackers. Huegas, a lot of time in this third section, but these tight corners can definitely be difficult. 4 ultimates, though, for the defenders. We'll see how they use them, including the Graviton Pulse Bomb. And no Diva on the other side to worry about, so an opportunity to really capitalize on that combination. Acad able to Fire Strike, Exhibit down, so still the advantage going the way of the attack. Res back up, so it's a 6v6. Here comes the Graviton coming through, but the Transcendence again from Exhibits will keep everybody up. It doesn't matter, though. They were able to separate the team with that pin. I will say, though, I think Exhibits was able to take down the Reinhardt Acad, who had a Shatter and couldn't quite use it, didn't quite have time, but as the Graviton comes through from Joseph, 2 kills going the other direction, and Fissure, I think, may be able to hold on to this. Ooh, the shield up just in time from Acad to avoid the Pulse Bomb, and that was just unlucky from Tico, who I think would have had that kill. Gibbery now in a dicey position. Has some help from the Bio Grenade. Is finally able to shut down that Ana. And I thought Tico was going to have to pull out there, but able to commit, take down the support, and delay the attack a little bit as they wait for that respawn. Shatter here from Excel. Used those very dangerously in the previous game, so expecting that here. Gibbery and Sacred looking to combine again with a Dragon Blade. Very effective last time. Dicing in the back is able to use the Dragon Blade. Not Nano this time, though, but it's a Tactical Visor coming out on the other side. Supreme directly into a Reflect, though, from Sacred, who's able to shut him down. Yeah, kills going the way of Huegas. Looking very solid here. The Pulse Bomb in the back will catch Gibbery, but I think the kill's still going the way of the attackers as Slayer picks up 2. Res coming through from Dragon, who's up in the Valkyrie. Abduct leading the way with this payload, sliding into the final checkpoint as the rest of the defenders come back in to contest. No ultimates for either side, but Abduct is very close to a Graviton Surge. Joseph has one as well, uses it here. The defenders catching at least 1, maybe 2. Here's the Graviton from the other side. Joseph the only one caught in it. We'll see if they can power down this Zarya. 100% charge here for Abduct, just trying to melt down the rest of these targets as the defenders hanging on for their absolute lives. Too far away from the payload, though. Round 1 completes with Huegas capping the map.
Check out this score. 0-3. Switching sides.
So a flurry here for Huegas, able to get all the way through the map, and just a very methodic approach from them. A couple bright spots of defense for Fissure, but with time on the clock, 45 seconds, it's doable with Blizzard World. Blizzard, it's just a long map, and it's you know, sometimes you see teams gummed up there in that third section with those tight corners and just a lot of the damage coming through, but a nice coordination from the attackers here. Huegas, who are now defending and putting themselves in a very good position to take this game in 2 maps. How does Fissure respond on their map pick? Get a strong attack here. Take it to multiple rounds. We'll see what they can do. Very similar approach to their last, defensive position like this. Like we said, Watchpoint Gibraltar. It was a really solid initial defense, but then it was Cataclysm was able to break through and went all the way to the end. But then Fissure on their attack, smaller time bank, were able to come out and cap the map in overtime. So a full hold defense won them that game. So we may see a similar performance here. They need something to get back into this. Vegas in pole position to take this game and advance in the tournament. In the losers bracket, Cataclysm defeats Utaku 2-0. Try and get you updated standings after this game, or updated placement and games on the horizon. Now coming out for the attackers, very similar comp. Exhibits over to the Lucio now instead of the Zenyatta. Had some very clutch Transcendence plays to kind of keep Fissure in the fight a couple times, but ultimately going over the Lucio now for the attackers. Sacred on the Sombra just scoping out this Fissure team. Looking for an opportunity to hack the Reinhardt, and maybe a tank. Does find the Rein, and Excel's now hacked here, but he's kind of underneath where the defense is setting up. Slayer on the Bastion getting kills quickly. Sacred adding one as well, and the attack left to retreat, so down 6v4. Another hack onto Excel in a very difficult position, and I expect him to drop here, but is able to get a kill onto a cab regardless. Now it's 2 kills down. The attacker's doing a little bit of work here, but as the res comes through for the defenders, I think they regain the numbers advantage. Exhibit gets melted down, hacked, and can't escape Sacred. First fight in the books, Suegas takes that one, but obviously Fissure looked like they started well. I think they kind of carried that fight on a little bit longer than we've seen them in kind of these previous games. Usually they're pretty good about retreating after 1 or 2 go down. They lost 2, decided to maintain the pressure, able to get another 2, but then ultimately kind of went sideways. But regardless, still looking to continue building. Joseph off the Zarya, now going over to a D.Va. That could be the answer, and they decide to go for a Sombra of their own as Supreme switches. Sacred trying to get Exhibit in the back, is able to find him, forces the res from Tactics. There's an EMP on deck here for Juegas. You expect them to use it with both tanks available. Coming back into point, there's the EMP, does catch 2, but gets completely shut down. Exhibits knew where that Sombra wasn't capitalized. Here's the hook in from Ebduck onto Excel, but can't quite take down the Reinhardt. Jib's able to get the Tracer Tico in the back. But it still looks like the defenders have some space. You have an unprotected Bastion. That's what's going to happen. Excel able to get the pin in onto Slayer, and that's going to be huge for them. Jibbery now in trouble on the high ground. Joseph powering down that on, and I think Fissure should be able to take the point here. Already with a tick to their name. They've got a little bit they can hold on to, but a fantastic double there from Abduct. Could turn it back the other direction. That is 3 kills for that Roadhog. And just a tick loss here for Juegas. They stabilize their defense. Going in on the stagger here on Joseph's Baby D.Va. Waiting as long as possible. That's just brutal. Solid defense though. Tico switching off the Tracer now over to a Genji, and that could be the difference for the attackers. OU decides for a Reinhardt instead, and now they're triple tanking. Still with the Sombra, close to an EMP. They've got both support ultimates, but not really much else to work with. Tico decides not the Roadhog, and again, decides Genji. A little bit of indecision could be costing Fissure as they come back into approach this point. Slayer already set up here, has the shield, has some help, and has a tank mode we'll expect to use briefly. Into the back, it's Tico on the Genji trying to use the Reflect to shut down the Bastion. Is able to get away, and now here comes the ultimate from that Bastion. 2 kills going the way of the attackers, though. They actually did cap the point, able to push the defense back, and I don't know. I finally see Fissure getting the kills they needed, but it looked like for a second that it was just a defense just ignoring the point, and they just let it go. But either way, Fissure not really going to question how it happened. In the face of some ultimates, able to overpower the defenders, and on their way now in the second section. Tactics with a Valkyrie available. Sacred 5% away from an EMP for the defenders. We'll see how they engage this next section. Exhibits drops via Slayer. I think they're going to try and get that res through, but I actually think they were able to get it. I think Tactics may have gotten pushed away or something, so now it's a disadvantage for the attackers. Yeah, the defense just storming back through and getting the kills they need. Tiki was able to take down a support, but yeah, just I think hacked there, and Slayer's able to clean up on the Tracer. Yeah, so Juegas not giving up really any significant ground in the second section, as it's going to be Fissure having to regroup. See them coming back in. It shouldn't take them long to continue contesting this. Directly back to point. You like the speed here from Fissure on their attack, and it's Excel again in the front, just trying to push back this tank line for the defenders and create a little bit more space for the payload to move. Now the ultimates really start to come out. Abduct with yet another whole hog. This one a little bit less effective, but now Tico here on the Dragon Blade able to get one onto Jibri before getting hacked and being forced to kind of stop there a little bit. Kill still going the way of Fissure though, and EMP coming out, I believe, from Sacred. Finds a couple, including Excel, who now won't be able to use the Shatter, but I think they weathered that storm pretty well. Jibri in with a nice sleep onto the Reinhardt, completely taken out of the fight. But I still think advantage Fissure here. Slayer really causing problems for Fissure's backline, but as the rest of the reinforcements from the defenders come in, Excel maybe trying to get out. Yeah, I think he's getting closed out a little bit. Tried to pin to get out and could not quite get there. So again, the defense holds under 2 minutes now for Fissure as they continue trying to push this. Looking for the staggered kills, though. They chase Tico all the way back to that first checkpoint. Not quite able to get the kill, though. Onto the Tracer. Tico looking for it. You like the patience there from Slayer just to be able to get away. Akkad will be able to finally take down the Genji. I think maybe tried to get a little greedy on the Tracer. Fissure going back in now. They've got a couple ultimates. I think there was a Shatter completely wasted there by Akkad. Went directly into the shield of Excel. Here's a Shatter or a just completely colliding into Exhibit's Brigida. Tico back up with another. Oh my god. Went up with the Dragon Blade. Slept immediately, and Jibri is just putting on a clinic right now. Sacred takes down Tico, and you'd expect that. Slept in the back, and the Genji completely nullified there. Graviton on deck here for Fissure. It looks like they may be getting a couple of these kills. Finally, Graviton comes out, but misses everybody. Nice spaced out defense here. Not a lot of time to work with if you're Fissure. And their tournament hopes on the line, or will they drop down to the loser's bracket? Huegas cleans up once more, and Supreme trying to put in a little bit of work, but can't offset the fight enough for his team. Ultimates on the way for Huegas. Just the Valkyrie from Tactics coming up, and a Tactical Visor from Supreme for the attackers. Slayer's got a Pulse Bomb. Sacred very close to a Rocket Barrage. Jibri almost with another Nano Boost. So again, on paper, it looks like Huegas have a bit of the advantage here. Slayer looking for a target in the back. Will find one here. It may not even need to use the Pulse Bomb. But does find Tico. Fantastic. Tactics in trouble now with the Rocket Barrage coming out. I think we'll take him down. Supreme able to get the Hex on, or the Helix Rocket onto the Tracer. Now the fight's really kind of all over the place. 12 seconds to go and nowhere near the payload. Fissure just looking to find any kind of reprieve from the onslaught from the defenders. Akkad in way too deep and will get shut down. Supreme in a position to get back to the payload in time. The overtime meter going now. 45 seconds, though, for the attackers, but obviously they just need to cap this point. Sacred nanoed, trying to get some damage through, is able to find a kill, but now it's really swapping either side. Payload maybe starts to inch forward a little bit as Fissure gains a little bit of the advantage. If you're the defense right now, though, from Huegas, you might just retreat a little bit, knowing that they've got a long way to the checkpoint still. The kill's really coming in now for Fissure, and it's a bit of a stagger now for Huegas. I think, yeah, again, if they're able to retreat a little bit, you've got time to contest this before that B checkpoint, and they're still in overtime, so you've got room to work with. Very close now. Ultimate's building. They're looking to get everybody back, but Tico's kind of keeping the rest of the team at bay. It looks like actually they won't be able to contest that. Just concedes the point. And kind of surprising to see that Huegas, you see them in the feed, have a couple of these kills. They get the res back onto Sacred, but they decided not to try and contest the B checkpoint and instead just benefit from the smaller time bank. 1 minute and 15 seconds, another 30 seconds down, and Huegas have the advantage, at least in that department. But you don't want to give Fissure another opportunity. I think Cataclysm made the mistake on watch point, and if you're Huegas, you want to keep them from even getting close to that third checkpoint. Now with 60 seconds to go, we could be in that kind of position. Another Rocket Barrage available for Sacred. Just ultimates building here for the team in red. Waiting. Knowing they do have a lot of time to work with here. Don't need to be too hasty with those ultimates. And the Graviton Rocket Barrage is probably going to be more effective in this tight section anyway. However, Joseph on the Diva will make it significantly more complicated for them to create some space. Or for them to use that as effectively as it would have liked. But as Slayer gets to pick onto his opposite Tico, advantage defenders here with just 35 seconds to go. Priority number one for them is going to have to be getting Joseph out of mech, specifically so that they can use that Rocket Barrage grab combo. Sacred getting the kill into Exhibits, and just little by little, Huegas continue to maintain a little bit of the advantage throughout these fights. Now with 15 seconds left, not a lot of time for Fissure to work with here. On to the point, here comes the fight. They've got to kill, though. Slayer dropping a res back up means I think they have the 6v5. Tico trying to find some angles, but Sacred's not having any of it. Nice sleep onto Supreme. Will be dropped immediately and had a Tactical Visor, so that's huge for them. Joseph very close to being out of mech. Here comes the self-destruct over the top. The Graviton from Abduct will catch just a few, and I think actually, yeah, Sacred able to get a couple kills as well. I think it's just going the way of Huegas on the point. Supreme finally back with a tactical visor, can do nothing with it. Killfee going completely red, and that is it. Huegas taking this game and the series.
Play of the game.
And we didn't get to see this on stream, so I'm glad this was the play of the game. Abduk actually popping off here, and I think used the nano, had his whole hog, got a kill there, got another one, and really kind of made room for, kind of cleared out Huegas from getting that point. They would end up going on to cap there, but obviously Huegas getting the win and a solid performance from the entire team. We'll be just right back with more of the CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase right after this. Welcome back to the CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. Huegas taking that in 2, and Fisher drops to the losers bracket, where actually they'll be playing the winner of Space Esports and Cataclysm, so a possible rematch for Fisher and Cataclysm. It'll be interesting, but Huegas move on and in a good spot here. I think we're going to try and jump into that Space and Cataclysm game. They're playing right now, and they're in the middle of their first map, but I think we're going to try and jump in at the second and see if we can get a little bit of that action as well. But Quake is getting the win here. Give us just a second, guys. We'll see if we can get set up with that other game, and we'll be right back with the CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase right after this. Welcome back to the Console Gaming League PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. We pick up this game where we've got Space Esports already up 1-0 over Cataclysm after 2 rounds on Ilios. Very solid performance from them, and they are already getting going. We are going on to Junkertown next, and again, like we said before, a lot of teams will do that kind of pick the payload maps after losing the control points, just because it is kind of the other direction. It makes it a little bit easier, but get into that game in just a second.
Welcome to Junkertown.
For Space Esports, like I said, with the lead already, so looking to wrap this up here with a strong defense. Space, we got to see against Insanity in the first game, won that game against Insanity, sent them to the losers bracket where they would eventually be eliminated, but then losing the very next round, dropped them down to the losers bracket as well. So this will be the technically loser semis. Whoever loses this game will play Fissure, who we just saw up against Juegas, and that will be the losers bracket final. So winner of this game goes to face Juegas right after this. Nice defense coming out so far from Space Esports on the high ground here. They've got a pretty traditional comp like you'd expect, kind of double sniper with Leo Merxalot and Zero Killer, who both solid at the job. Zero Killer already getting a kill onto Sackmeister, so the defenders with a little bit of an early advantage here. Then a ball and chain combo on the tanks. They've got Mercy Zenyatta. This little sniper combo, long range and short, dangerous in the short range from the defenders from the attack. Tried to do the pirate ship a little bit. I don't know if Ethan's going to be able to get back on. It's difficult to set the pirate ship back up, and that is a risky res right there for one more night. A substitute, I believe, coming in, not in that first game for Cataclysm, but yeah, just completely cleaning up here our Space Esports. Very strong defense from them. Just 60 seconds gone so far, so a lot of time for Cataclysm to come back into this, but good start here for the defenders. Now the engagement coming back in, maybe a little bit lethargic though from Cataclysm. They set down Cyber Ninja with the shield, but then completely melted down directly in front of the entire rest of the team. Not sure what they thought was going to happen there, but regardless, Cyber Ninja able to stay alive and significantly longer than I expected here. A lot of the support coming through from the Mercy. Leo Merxalot finally able to take down that Orisa, but the res coming through regardless from one more night will keep it back to a pretty even fight. Zero Killer now down. Ethan switching over to the Widow to take out that threat. Leo Merxalot getting, jab out of mech, but ultimately it looks like the defense will be able to hold this. 2 minutes and 23 seconds now. Late nano onto Men Are Immortal, but ends up panning out regardless, getting the kills, and they continue pushing the payload. That is incredible. I thought for sure without the numbers advantage they would be dropping there. Sackmeister suffering the ultimate penalty though. Zero Killer able to get the headshot onto the Ana, but the payload continues rolling regardless. A res just to keep everybody a little bit healthier. Give them 3 members coming in. Should be a late contention though, and Manrare Pig the first to it. Zenyatta in behind as well. It's a Transcendence, though, just to keep everybody up. It's a nicely timed Transcendence here from Time Worn. I believe there's a Supercharger down now for a Cyber Ninja, and a nice contention coming through for the attackers. Now, the defense continues to get reinforcements in. They have a few of the numbers on the point, but it looks like the attack from Space Esports actually, looks like they're kind of taking advantage. Looks like they're really, they're getting the kills they need. There's the res coming through on Cyber Ninja, but they'll cap the payload regardless. 4 minutes now on the clock for Cataclysm. Space Esports and to sacrifice that point. A couple ultimates on the board. Really just the Dragon Strike you see on your screen from Leo Merxalot. Ethan has an infrared, but it's not really one of those ultimates that, it kind of affects the fight in the same way. Obviously the anticipation of knowing your opponent's going to be as huge for them, but it's not like a combining ultimate. Misses the hook. Here comes the Dragon Strike directly into the attackers, right through the throat, and able to catch Cyber Ninja. Sackmeister down as well, and immediately it's a 5v4. Ethan putting in work though. Double headshot back to back. Time Worn Hippo and Leo Merckslab both down. Even though the res comes through on the Hanzo. Nice cleanup there to try and offset a couple of those. Still though, the attack, yeah, getting the kills they need, and they continue pushing the payload. I think that those Widow picks from Ethan, influential in helping them continue pushing the payload here and win that fight. Zero Killer Marine absolutely destroying on Widow in the first game against Insanity, but now Ethan coming out and putting on a clinic of his own. Brief pause there. Do apologize. I'm not in control of this lobby because we joined it late, but it's all right.
You needed a doctor?
My spirit grows strong.
Schaden verstärkt. I've got you. You needed a doctor?
Oh, it looks like, actually, do apologize. The score's backwards. Cataclysm that won the first game on Ilios. And so Space Esports looking to get back into the game. If that's the case, completely changes the context of the fight, because obviously now you've got Cataclysm who are at a very dominant attack coming out from that win. So glad that was sorted. Do appreciate those in the chat that helped clear up the confusion. Yeah, that's the case. Cataclysm again just doing a really solid job melting down targets. Another pause in from, I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure who's hosting, so I do apologize for that, but regardless, looks like they continue pushing the payload. 3 minutes and 26 seconds is definitely no time to sneeze out, especially on Junkertown. Another map that can be really difficult just to kind of slog through all the way to the end, and another one that we don't often see multi-round fights. But as everyone now on the Bastion in the back, trying to see if get the damage in through this very long hallway. Breaks the shield immediately, and now the onslaught starts coming in from this Bastion. Transcendence in to combat the supercharger to Bastion on the other side, as Ethan sitting there in the back, going back over to it. As a Transcendence from the other side, though, from the attackers, the Sackmeister's trying to keep everybody up. Man Bear Pig able to take down the supercharger, and Men Are Immortal now on the Roadhog again with a solid whole hog, getting a few. And again, the attackers have the advantage. Erwin without a shield, able to take down the Mercy, but gets punished for it, and Men Are Immortal's able to drop that Bastion. Payload continues to inch further forward, going directly into the checkpoint. I don't know if anybody can contest this, but now it's Zero Killer Marine trying to hold on, maybe kind of zip it around as quickly as possible. Still contesting, reinforcements coming back in from the defenders, but the kill still going the way of the attack. That Tracer trying to do everything he can, but holds on just long enough for Man Bear Pig to get back in with a little bit of help from Leo Merckslab. Leo drops, and Man Bear Pig does as well. Less than a meter away from capping this point, but the defenders continue trying to contest this. Nice res coming back in. Zero Killer Marine able to come back into the fight, and it's going to be a huge kind of delay for them, but finally the defense kind of pushes out a little bit, and Cataclysm are able to complete the map.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
So a solid performance from Cataclysm again. Sorry about the score mix-up. Cataclysm is up now, and after a strong attack there on Junkertown, in a good position to continue this fight. Space Esports possibly with a date with Fissure, but can't count them out just yet. Obviously an opportunity for them to attack, take this into multiple rounds, take this map, win the next one. A lot can happen, guys. A lot can happen.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
We'll see where the attack decides to go. We've seen a few teases of a Wrecking Ball, but no actual Wrecking Ball played just yet. Probably not here. See the attack with a Tor Bastion Wrecking Ball combo. Seems unlikely, but you know, what do I know?
Ich bin da.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's more like it. Everyone's still on the Bastion though, so we'll try and set up that pirate ship. But Zero Killer Marine on the Reaper. And Leo Merckslab switching over to the Hanzo. Nice defense here from Cataclysm, set up a little bit further back. Everyone was able to get on and get all set up. We'll see if they can pull the shield away and have done just that. Now Bastion's the target, but back up onto the payload is ManBearPig trying to keep that Bastion up. D.Va in with the defense measures immediately. Sackmeister getting a pick and everyone drops as well. So now kills going the way of Cataclysm. Space Esports able to answer one back with Zero Killer onto the Widow, but now it's ManBearPig drops as well. Makes it a little bit more difficult for the attacking team. Again, I do apologize about the pauses. Hopefully that gets sorted. And now as someone actually does drop, there's the pause. So Metamortal left. We'll see if we can get him back in. But already it looks like Cataclysm with a very strong defense and making it difficult. Obviously, coming back, Metamortal will not have any ultimate charge. That'll be a bit of a disadvantage, but obviously a lot of time still left to earn it. For the time being, though, we'll see if we can reduce that a little bit. There we go. Fantastic. Got Metamortal back in. Hopefully we'll be able to get the unpause here shortly. Taking this brief break to let you know the first playoff game has been scheduled. Boosting Co. versus Team Oof from the Contender tier. This Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. This is from our Xbox League. Season 6 will have full PlayStation support, but up through the first 5 seasons, just Xbox. And that should be a really, really good game. Boosting Co. and Team Oof, two that have been fun to watch. Boosting Co. barely missing out on the second bye as the second seed for the Contender tier in their loss to Panthera Leo in week 8 of the season. So definitely one to look out for. Team Oof coming off a strong win, I believe, over, I want to say it was Mounchies kind of late in the season as well. So definitely capable of taking some scalps, and we'll see. Hopefully that should be a pretty good game. As one person comes back, another one drops. So I don't know if they're going to pause the game again, but either way, everyone's back. We will carry on. So like we were saying, it's Space Esports that are having a little bit of a difficult time getting in. Ian trying to escape there, but it's just a stagger coming through now as ManBearPig is completely by himself, has no support, but is taking a lot of the damage here. And it's going to make it really difficult should that shield go down, has no support again. But coming around the outside, trying to cause some issues, going in maybe a little bit too deep and getting shut down there by Metamortal, who just rejoined the game. And Space Esports not looking the same kind of tight, consistent team that we saw win that first game against Insanity. So they're struggling a little bit, maybe a little bit of tilt coming in, hard to tell. Jab going in after Erwin and Cataclysm again, just on top in these fights. ManBearPig and Zero Killer able to get a few picks, and that could help this momentum keep going for the attack. But they didn't protect the res, and it's going to be a jab getting back into mech here. Leo Mercs a lot with a couple picks. It's 5 ultimates though for the attacker, so you expect that Space Esports, there we go, starting to get a few of these kills. Zero Killer Marine on the Reaper, putting in absolute work right now, and finally the payload starts to move here for the blue team. Like we said, a ton of ultimates available, and Sackmeister with the left trigger to take down Zero Killer Marine from range. Now it's a Transcendence set for Sackmeister as a late contention comes in. The rest of the team kind of there to join him. Cyber Ninja is in space, gets kind of in the middle of that Dragon Strike and could have been in a tough spot, but was able to get away. The Transcendence now coming out from the other side. Time Worn Hippo able to get a couple members still up as the kills maybe start to go a little bit of the way of the defenders. Gets punished though, as now it's again, yeah, Cataclysm starting to take advantage once more. A nice shatter in will catch a couple. And they do cap the payload. Another pause. Hopefully we'll get that all works out. Regardless, Space Esports were able to cap that. As the rest of the defense got off the point. Zero Killer Marine has been the difference maker here for Space Esports on this Reaper. Just ripping through the backline, absolutely causing havoc. with a Death Blossom here, looking for a chance to use it, but maybe in a tough spot now, as I'm pretty sure the attack, or the defenders rather, saw him sneak around this side. So we'll see if he's actually able to get away. Has to Wraith now as its Men Are Immortal around the corner. Chasing down that Reaper, and he may try and retreat. Nope. Sniper from range takes down Zero Killer. Got in a little bit too deep, and that's going to be tough. Ooh, but Leo Mercilot able to answer one back, though. The res will come through and get the Widow back into the fray, but obviously early on in the fight, it's difficult. You don't have that res in your back pocket that you can use and protect. Men Are Immortal in on the back, now has a Deadeye and able to get the pick there onto Leo Mercilot. Payload still kind of stagnant here as the attack tries to continue pushing it forward. Men Are Immortal in a position to use this Deadeye, but the shield's in the way still, so may have to wait a little bit. Erwin, believe, used the self-destruct, but then was taken down by Sackmeister. That was a perfect opportunity, but the Deadeye didn't connect. Nobody available there, but still the kills going the way of Space Esports. Continuing to clean up, and again, Zero Killer Marine hasn't needed to use the Death Blossom yet, but it's just melting through these Cataclysm defenders, and they'll Cat B. A lot of time to work with. This is the Space Esports I think we're more used to seeing. This center section has been a much more cohesive side, and I think they finally found a rhythm a little bit. You see 3 of the members on fire, and not a lot of answers coming from Cataclysm currently after such an impressive first round. So, yeah, we'll see if Zero Killer and the rest of Space Esports can continue stacking these ultimates to force multiple rounds here. Now it's a Dragon Strike coming in from Mercilot. Finds Cyber Ninja, and that's going to be huge here for the attackers. Man-Bear Pig able to take down one more Knight, who I think may have been going in for that res, so now it's a 6v4. Jav able to take his opposite Erwin out of mech, but that's all they've got so far to work with. Space Esports with a lot of momentum coming around this final corner. Still 4 ultimates for the point attackers. Time Worn Hippo with a nice kill onto Jab out of mech and taken down. It's a Valkyrie up for one more Knight. Ian Calhoun has one available, decides to pocket it currently, but now does pop it in this hopefully final fight. It's Transcendence out. No one's around the payload, though. Finally, the contention coming through from Sackmeister has a Transcendence up. It's one the other direction from Time Worn. And as the attack completely pushes back these defenders, keeps them well into their spawn, 2.55 meters away. No one's close, and I think they should be able to cap this here. Jav's pretty close. Goes out of mech, but has a self-destruct to get the mech back. Completely protected, no one there to contest the payload. Round 2 completes, and it's solid response from Space Esports.
Score 3-3. Switching sides.
So that's that. We go again to the beginning. Round 3, we'll see Cataclysm attacking first. Slightly smaller time bank, still pretty even for both these teams. If you can't see that, Space Esports finished the second round with 2 minutes and 27 seconds. 2-11 for the now attacking Cataclysm. So still a lot of parity between these two sides. Remember, Cataclysm was the one that won Ilios the first round that was ongoing while we were finishing up the Huegas and Fissure game. So Cataclysm already with a toe into the winners bracket finals, I believe. Rather, the losers bracket finals. Both these teams have lost. Space Esports looking for their win. Obviously, whoever loses here will be eliminated. Interesting of Zero Killer. It looks like actually we'll be running the Junkrat. I was about to comment previously that we haven't had anybody play Junkrat on stream, and I don't know if it's just different styles from these teams. We saw a lot of just, I guess, comps that are easy to identify exactly what their strategy is, where you've got like the Ryan Zarya, and everybody kind of sit back a little bit further, and you've got a lot of range damage from Zenyatta or Hanzo, something like that. But now coming in with Junkrat for the first time. Good defensive here. They've got a Mei as well, so that could be a very dodgy defense. Rather dodgy for Cataclysm from Space Esports. I really like how they've got this set up. Already a lot of damage coming through from Sackmeister. The Zenyatta for the attacker's Cataclysm. Trading picks immediately. Ethan able to take down Zero Killer Marine, but one more Knight out of the fold as well. Now kills going the way of the attackers as... yeah, Men Are Immortal on the Bastion, able to rain in damage. Cataclysm ripping through this defense like a hot knife through butter, and will be pretty uncontested through the most of this first section. There's going to be a contention coming back then, obviously, but they're doing a good job of staggering some of these kills. Obviously, members just now coming back as Erwin falls, but Zero Killer with 2 fantastic headshots to even up this fight, and they may have an opportunity to contest this. No shield available for the Bastion, but Ethan able to answer it back and take down Zero Killer, who was about to really cause some issues for Space Esports. Now nowhere near the payload. It's a ultimate coming out as Meta Immortal has the tank mode, is able to find that Widow in the corner, at least contribute to the demise. Very evasive D.Va here from Erwin, finally can't get away as we're under 60 seconds now. Cataclysm still attacking. Manbear Pig back to try and continue whittling down the payload as there won't be any additional time on the clock should Cataclysm cap this, but finally able to brush him aside. And they will cap. Zero Killer taking down the opposite Widow Ethan, but they did just cap, so pretty short respawn there. Won't be too much of an issue. Rez coming through, was able to protect. Now the Widow's back up. Infrared sight for Zero Killer, who has been putting in work, honestly, without it, so it'll be a dangerous combo here. Manbear Pig tries to go in, completely melted by Meta Immortal here on the Bastion, able to get 2 quick picks there, and Cataclysm will just continue pushing. Time Worn on a really kind of high isolated area, and the D.Va from Space Esports has been just a really, from Cataclysm. Jav here has been really aggressive in attacking this high ground and eliminating the supports that like to set up back there. Meta Immortal still just melting people down. Manbear Pig dropping the Transcendence out from Zach Miser should help them continue staying alive long enough to cap this point. God, just this Bastion absolutely melting people, and that will do it here for Cataclysm's they'll cap B. Yeah, Space needs to do something to change something up and deal with this Bastion because kind of something that we have seen before. So on Watchpoint Gibraltar, this team's pushing all the way through in overtime, not really worried about those checkpoints. But when you got a team like this so embedded and invested in the payload position as a defense, you got to do something to disrupt that flow. They can't really run a Pharah just with the it's probably good to run a Pharah. They're not running the Widow anymore, so that's definitely a possibility. Shadow coming through though from Manbear Pig will find Meta Immortal, and that's one way to do it. Transcendence coming out from the defense though. Space Esports is looking to push down this overtime meter. It looks like they did get away from the payload and they had members available, but everybody cleared out, and still a good push here in round 3, but that is where it will stop for Cataclysm. Space Esports will come out in round 4 and look to equalize, or rather slightly better the time, obviously, man. That is where the payload stops, and an opportunity now for Space Esports to tie this up, knowing that we won't be going into any additional rounds. A strong attack from them, a slightly larger time bank means if they're able to get to that point, we tie up the series and go to game 3. Possibly a pirate ship coming out from space on their attack. We got Erwin here on the Bastion, but remains to be seen. Leo Mercilot on the Reaper. Very effective for Space Esports in that first round. Looking for a similar result here. Zero Killer back on the Widow has been incredibly effective and immediately goes to look for some potential shots. Maybe a few openings. See if the defense is a little bit lazy in their positioning. Opportunity goes, and yeah, Sackmeister able to get away with one there. Low in health, back up to full via Calhoun on the Mercy. Erwin here on the Bastion gets dove a little bit by Jav on the D.Va, but not quite able to close out the Bastion. Still force him off the payload and a little bit further back where they'll be able to continue putting in the damage, but nice high ground defense will keep most everybody safe. Finally, the D.Va's caught out, and that will do right there. Jav completely down, and Erwin in a really good position. I think I heard the hook go for Meta Immortal, so dealing with something else in the back, but not in a position to take that Bastion. And the only member still alive, I'm sure they're aware that Roadhog is still back there, so it could be staggered here and could be in a really tough spot. Just need to get out or die at this point. They're well aware of that Roadhog's position, so it could be in a really difficult spot. Meta Immortal in a sticky situation and trying to get back. There's a Reaper back here as well, so just taking out threats that way. Looks for the hook onto the Widow, can't quite find it. still not there to help the team, and obviously they've got the 3 tanks, so maybe a little bit of help, but Erwin now with the tank mode combined with Man-Bear Pigs, just, yeah, Space Esports just taking no prisoners here, continuing to get the kills they need and wrapping up this point. Metamortal still back here and still alive, but finally does drop after the checkpoint went, though, so it'll be a long spawn for that Roadhog. Definitely beneficial for Space Esports. 54 seconds, we saw what Cataclysm could do with their overtime, so definitely not out of the question for them to continue pushing, but Space also just looking a little bit better on this attack. Oof. Ethan with a fantastic headshot there onto his opposite Zero Killer Marine, and again, now with the infrared sight up, that's definitely going to help Cataclysm continue with his defense. That's what they wanted to see. Time Warren Hippo able to answer one back, though. Men are Mortal will take down the Bastion. That's going to be huge for them. They can only res one, and it's going to be Zero Killer Marine. The Transcendence now up for Time Warren, which try and keep the rest of the members alive, but just attackers dropping left and right. Here comes a Shatter, and there's the combination right there. The Death Blossom catches Cyber Ninja. Maybe another one, but Time Warren Hippo able to add in as well. And yeah, as they continue pushing this, a late res coming through from Meta Immortal just to maybe continue the contention, but I think that could end up staggering and put them in a really difficult spot. But if Meta Immortal can stay up long enough, I think they have the Valkyrie in place as well, so if more of these reinforcements can come through, they may be able to get Cataclysm, oh yeah, back into the game. But as I say that, finally able to force off the rest of the members here. Now, more of the reinforcements coming out. Cyber Ninja down with a supercharger back into the fight. Jav within the Diva mech as well. Sackmeister able to take down Man-Bear Pig. That'll be huge for them. Not a lot to work with now as kills start to go the way of Cataclysm. Space Esports facing elimination here. A Transcendence coming in from Sackmeister to try and keep the rest of the defense up. Self-destruct catches Erwin, and the payload remains stationary. The overtime meter drops down, and that is it. Cataclysm takes the game.
Play of the game.
This is in that 3rd round where Meta Immortal were able to, on the Bastion, just able to clean up this round and get them that checkpoint a little bit further along. Ended up not even needing it, but regardless, Space Esports looking very solid. Yeah, Cataclysm will advance. Space Esports now eliminated, so what can you do? That's too bad. It's enjoyable to watch them, though. We'll have some more from these games when we come back. Welcome back to the CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. Cataclysm taking the win over there over Space Esports. Unfortunately, Fissure, just been a long tournament, had to leave, didn't have the players available, so it will be Cataclysm up against Juegas in the final. And we'll get that game to you shortly, but it's been a really solid showcase so far. I really enjoyed the games we've gotten to get onto the stream, and I really appreciate all the, just JX for being able to get all this set up, and we're excited to expand into more PlayStation 4 teams in Season 6. Again, make sure you're on our Discord, link below the Twitch channel where you can get all that information about Season 6. We'll be releasing it in Discord before anywhere else. Also, we'll have information on the CGL Breakdown Tuesdays at 9:30 Eastern, so a lot of exciting content coming up. And yeah, so we'll have the finals from the showcase here in just a second. We'll be right back. and welcome back to the CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, and this is it. We're at the final. Vegas against Cataclysm, both coming to this game with kind of different paths, but middle Cataclysm here against Vegas, and we're excited for this matchup. Kind of do a couple of these games from both these sides, so should be a fun final. I think both teams are ready to go. We're starting Oasis again, starting with control points so that whoever loses this can pick the second game. Had some pretty solid maps so far. Make sure we've got everybody all squared away in the lobby. Teams are still getting in here. I think we just about have everyone. Guys, if you're just now joining us and don't know what the CGL is, Console Gaming League is the premier competitive platform for PS4 and Xbox. Currently Overwatch, looking to expand to new games as well. But make sure you're in our Discord, link below the stream, and you can get just all that info. It's great community. I've been a part of the community for I think, coming up on 2 years now, and great group of players, and yeah, definitely encourage you to join. Also, if you're not following CGL Overwatch, make sure you hit the follow, hit the subscribe button, and as you know, we're always going live. We got shows throughout the week. The CGL Breakdown 9:30 Eastern on Tuesday nights breaks down news, analysis, and highlights from the previous week. We got a playoff preview breakdown episode coming up this coming Tuesday, where we take a look at all the tiers ranging from Carbon all the way up to Champion to see what we think is going to happen in the playoffs and kind of look at some of the previous matchups throughout the season and see what we can expect. And the CGL Happy Hour, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, General No Nibs and Skate Action DJ bring you today a really casual, kind of fun hour of kind of off Overwatch gameplay. Right now they're doing a little bit of Junkenstein. They've got some custom game modes as well, and they bring on a few members from the community, ask them a couple questions. I went on last week, it's a lot of fun. And if you missed any of the episodes or any of the VODs or anything, you can tab over to our videos tab and yeah, just watch all of them there, just at your leisure. I think, yeah, it looks like both teams are ready to go, so we'll get you into Oasis. Appreciate your patience, and yeah, just for hanging out, being part of this the showcase tournament. Again, this is the kind of ribbon cutting for our PlayStation 4 side, not something that we've had previously in seasons past, but excited for the opportunity to bring in new teams here. There we go. We get good matchups here. Cataclysm in a loss to Fissure would have played Fissure again to decide who would have gone to this game, but Fissure didn't have players available and had to drop out. Vegas came in very strongly, and a solid win for them over Fissure, leaving a 2-0 season through to this final for the games that we weren't able to get onto the stream, but see here. There we are into Oasis, and we've had, like I said, some good matchups here. A lot of these games going all 3 rounds. Got 99 overtimes towards the end, and have been really exciting games. A couple things to look out for, just if you're just now joining us. On the right side here, Vegas, very solid team. Like I was saying, Jibri on the Ana, it's fun to watch. Sacred just jumps around a couple different places. Abduck and Akademic have been playing a lot of the tank roles for this team, and been playing really well there. The support line, you know, all the way around. This team's very fun to watch. Cataclysm on the other side, a bit of a sub coming in. Fervin Tonio, I don't think I'm familiar, but one more not a support player in that last game the Cataclysm had. Cyber Ninja here on the tank, also a lot of fun to watch, plays a good Reinhardt as well. And Sackmeister had some clutch transcendences a few games back there for Zenyatta, so another one to watch.
3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Cataclysm in blue here on the left-hand side, Vegas in the red on the right. Rockets in over the top, Sacred here on the Pharah, no hit scan for the blue team Cataclysm, so at least for the first portion of this, it could be a little bit difficult. They do have the Diva, who they can send up to kind of interfere with the Pharah a little bit, or just kind of ignore it entirely, take care of the fight on the ground, and then deal with the Pharah later. Looks like maybe opting for the former as Jav goes up to try and take that on. Very low here, runs out of defense matrix and has to retreat as Sacred's well kept up here by Dragon Envy on the Mercy. Seal kills not really going either direction. Huega's finally getting in the kill feed there, and they will cap the point first. The fight's still breaking out though, but Slayer's able to take down Fervitonio, and yeah, the rest of the members of Cataclysm falling shortly thereafter. A cleanup from Huegas sees them cap this initial point. They'll keep the Diva alive as long as possible, even though she's contesting, not really causing any issues. Be a deep stagger here from the Diva. And I always like to see that. Obviously, at this level, it's something that you kind of expect to happen, but some of the lower levels, teams don't always remember how valuable that can be just to make the other team wait to engage. And if they do try and take it on without having their Diva back, obviously you're missing a tank, and a valuable one at that, but you're sitting there at a 6v5 right off the bat. So, nice to see the stagger on the Diva. Over to a Pharah now. Fervitonio trying to get Sacred down, almost was successful, but a little bit of help coming through will keep Sacred up in the air. 3 kills now for Huegas, and they'll win this fight as well. 50% coming up here for the red team. And it's been a really bright opening for Huegas on Oasis. 3 ultimates for them as well. Like I just used the Primal Rage, just trying to, I think, repel back the defense a little bit, the blue team a little bit further. Will retreat here to the rest of his supports, and again, it looks like it's a Huegas team very much in control. Still no ultimates, but some coming up here for Cataclysm. They'll need some, and quickly, as we're already at 72% of the point gone. A few in the 90s. They'll have 6 ultimates for this next fight. Here comes the rally immediately, though, from the red side. Huegas Jibbery able to keep everybody up here. Slayer very close to a pulse bomb, but went down briefly. Sacred able to level out the fight, though. It's a 5v5 now, so Deadeye comes out from Ethan. Is able to catch a cat in the air, just going for just the jump, and gets another kill onto Slayer. Things starting to look a little bit better for Cataclysm behind the gun of that McCree. It's a rally the other direction. Sackmeister off the Zenyatta, went over to the Brigida, and now trying to push the attack further in. It's a self-destruct coming in from the top, though. James able to get Sacred in the sky. A self-destruct the other direction from Abduct. Catches, I believe, no one. At some point in there, though, just in the middle of all that chaos, the point was switched over. So now in 99% are Huegas, but Cataclysm do have it here. 11% and starting to build. Still ultimates, though, for the red team, so you expect one more engagement. They should be able to wrap this up. However, ultimates, again, building for Cataclysm as well. They've got Ethan 96% to a Deadeye. They've got the Rocket Barrage as well. So a few things they may be able to work with. Obviously, Cyber Ninja's Primal Rage will be a crucial assault. Nice shot there from Ethan. Slayer zips away, but it's a quick shot. Got the Tracer very low. Here comes the Pulse Bomb in and is able to catch Ethan, even though he was able to take down Academic. The DPS from Huegas putting in some work right now. The Rocket Barrage as well takes down the opposite Fervitilio on Pharah. Huegas looking pretty good. Looking to take this point back. Not a lot of members still remaining here for Cataclysm. The feed going completely red here for Huegas. And though there will be a contention maybe coming back in, the Primal Rage from Cyber Ninja just trying to keep it alive here for Cataclysm. Overtime meter will start to tick down, and quickly, should there be any, unless there's reinforcements to come in to kind of help out a little bit. Jibbery taking down Tracer. The Fervitilio who switched off Pharah now. Smart with the stall, just trying to get back into the game. Sacred takes down Sackmeister. The res comes off, but they lose another support in the process, so not a ton of value, but it still looks like Huegas are in control here on the point. Self-destruct now coming out, though. Jav catches no one. Slayer back up with the res. Ultimates continue to build, though, for Huegas. Very close to a Rocket Barrage is Sacred. Has one now, and the defense match is gone, but finally everybody gets off the overtime. Meter drops immediately. And Huegas take the first round on Oasis. So a chaotic first round, at least that final battle. Huegas come away with the win, though. Cataclysm still putting up a fight. I think they kind of won some of those fights back a little bit. They were able to get quite a bit of the point, but kind of let the first possession of the control point get away from them. Huegas were able to wrap it up all the way to 99 before they got anything on there. So maybe look for a slightly more aggressive attack. Fervitonio back on the Pharah for them. Sackmeister onto an Ana now. We'll see if they can tie up the series. Obviously, like we said, we've seen a lot of teams do this. Huegas, I do not believe went to a third game here. I think in their game over Fissure, they took this in 2. Ethan immediately getting a pick onto Slayer, and we kind of saw the flash over the bow in that first round where Slayer was able to get away. Not this time, though, but the kill's going the way of Cataclysm with the res back in on Cyber Ninja. Ethan gets another, and I think that will be Cataclysm taking the point first. Very solid response after that first round from them, but yeah, just Ethan taking down Slayer kind of helped them set that initiation, went in and got the picks they needed. Slayer still in the back and very well could get staggered here, but able to stay away. Sacred's in the region, though. Rather, Ferventoni was in the region and could have taken down that Tracer very low, but I think was able to. They finally did drop. We'll have to use the res to get him back up. Ethan looking for a perfect opportunity for the Deadeye, maybe waiting for the contention onto the point. Sees Gibber in the back, stunned and down immediately. Solid pickup there from the McCree. Sees the Pharmacy in the sky and misses both. Able to get away from the danger there was the Pharmacy combo from Sacred and Dragon Envy, but very close to being in a influential Deadeye there. Either way, I think it did clear out the attack a little bit, kind of forced the members of Huegas to back off a little bit. Another pick onto Slayer, and Ethan's looking good here on the McCree. Sees Sacred, has him in his sights, drops him with maybe a little bit of help from Fervitonio, but just an excellent performance here from Ethan on the McCree.
My ultimate is ready. Let's do this. Sniper, be careful.
Jav just waiting for the opportunity to use that self-destruct, waiting for which side they're going to initiate from and send it over the top. Now the Valkyrie up here. It's a Graviton coming through, catches 2, just as one more Knight goes into Valkyrie, so that's going to be a little difficult if they're not able to capitalize there. Dragon Envy gets popped. Jav gets 2, though, with the self-destruct. Shatter catches a couple, and Cataclysm still very much in control here. 77-0, as Huegas can't seem to find any way onto this point.
My ultimate is ready.
85% now. One more possible attack as Academic switches over to a Winston. May be able to build a Primal Rage quickly, but it'll be difficult. I've duck over on the D.Va as they look for a more mobile comp. It's a nano into the Winston coming in, but gets purple immediately. Doesn't have a lot of help, but still trying to cause some issues. Fervitonio with a nice double with the Rocket Barrage could give Cataclysm, yeah, exactly what they needed. That's a third kill onto his opposite. Jibbery gets back into the fight, though, but yeah, I think it's still going to be Cataclysm with a lot of this point. Academic able to get 2 quick picks, though, and actually things may be able to swing the other direction for them. Finally, that Winston drop, still just the fight back and forth. I think Huegas have a third of the point here, but yeah, I just don't think they have the numbers to continue this up. We should see the overtime meter drop here. Sacred trying to continue the contention, waiting for the rest of the reinforcements. The overtime meter just, every single time it starts to drop, just wants to go faster and faster. Ugh, right there at the death, able to get back in. It's a nice sleep on to one more Knight, and that'll be crucial there for Jibbery, but does not matter. Tied up the series, and Cataclysm lets him come right back.
Score 1-1.
So back and forth this game, proving to be a pretty interesting final so far. Cataclysm able to bring one back after a little bit of a disappointing first round, but again, got a second bite at it and came back to take this second to force the third. So now all comes down to this. Like I said, Oasis responsible for a lot of these type of fights. And obviously, when you got like, 4.4K and 4.5K teams, some of the best here. Naturally, these fights are going to go back and forth. Both Winston Sepp trying to take supremacy of the high ground early. The fight breaking out immediately with these dive tanks up on the high ground. Slayer able to take down one more Knight, though. That'll be crucial. Jibber gets a second. It's a 6v4 here immediately for Huegas. And definitely not the same kind of cautious approach we saw from these teams previously. Sacred onto Sackmeister and Jibber, yeah, just cleaning up completely. Huegas able to take down every member of Cataclysm. And I think they will cap this point first. Might just go without saying. Yeah, solid coordination. You saw the dive tanks from both teams go to the high ground immediately to try and contest that space, and Huegas just came out the favorites there. Pharmacy back up here for Cataclysm. Slayer looking for the shot. Finds it midair. What a fantastic sniper shot there from Slayer. Oh, eventually gets forced off and can't quite find it, but able to take down the Pharah, and that's That was a fun shot right there. Sacred back in with the blade, able to catch 2. Hasn't Dragon Blade, but I think this fight may be one for Vegas. We'll just hold on to it. Self-destruct coming through from Jav. Can't find anybody. A lot of time to see that one coming. That Diva will drop. Quake looking good here. Looks like they're very much embedded onto the point so far. Saw a nice Dragon Blade combination with Jibri on the Ana in their previous game. Does not have it here, but the Dragon Blade, regardless, could come in and slice up some of these weaker heroes. Still sitting up on the high ground. The dive tank's coming directly back in. Jabter looking to get a kill and find someone on the Slayer quickly. Here comes the res, though, from Envy to get the Widow back into the fight. Here comes the Dragon Blade from Sacred. Hasn't found anybody just yet. Kind of held at bay a little bit by this Diva and can't really get anything out of it. Yeah, that's a difficult loss there for Vegas, but I think they still have a little bit more control at this point. Slayer able to get back in and gets the kill into one more night. Jibri adds another. Yeah, there it is. Vegas finally able to start wrapping up here. 78%. One more fight possible for Cataclysm on this point, and just not the same side we saw in that previous round. Kind of struggling to win some of these fights and close out some of the kills, and I think it really is that high ground control. Having a difficult time getting in and pushing out the dive tanks from Vegas. (96%, 97% now. They're starting to engage the point. Ultimate's available for both sides, or for Vegas, though, and expect the Primal Rage to come out here very shortly. Reaper in a tight spot, maybe able to catch out Ethan here, but kill's still going the way of Vegas. And it's not even just one person, the entire team contributing here, getting in the feed. One more night gets the res back in, but it's all for naught, and that's it. Vegas takes the first round of the finals.
Play of the game.
Nice pick up on the Sacred. Use the Deadeye, is able to catch the Mercy as well. Ethan with a nice double there, and Jab adds another. Again, Cataclysm couldn't quite get over the line, though. Vegas with a strong performance. It will be Cataclysm's map pick when we come back with the CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase.
Right. This was kind of fun. Yumchat coming in on Temple to do this. Just really honestly heads up warrior play, trying to keep everybody alive, do what he can. Rocket Brush comes out and fades right out of the way. Pops a coalescence, trying to keep those tanks up. Defense goes on hold. And yeah, just really solid warrior play.
Support top plays.
Exactly. Electric Slump coming in. Actually, a lot of Junkrat top plays here. This not even using the tire coming through. Sarge had this game, and Boosting Co. getting the win, like you said, coming in as Junkrat, doing some work. Milkboy, like you mentioned, switch in this game.
Oh,
D9 versus Chaotic, getting the triple. Boof off the side. Lucio Orisa out of commission, and getting the punch on the Brigitte as well. Miko was looking good. Tank last week, and a DPS Doomfist this week. A lot of fun to watch. Coming in 6th, Gaming Sorcerer here. It was a triple bomb coming in from Desert Frost in the Desert Legion Gaming versus Mountains game. Gaming Sorcerer came with a triple right afterwards, cleaned up the point. Mountains and Desert Legion, like I said, go on to tie that game. And the Apollo for Capitalism coming through with a Dragon Blade, absolutely dirty, catching a couple of the sound barrier, helping keep him up, and you're just doing a really solid job there. Steve's Hundy's insta-lock, looking very good on Diva, comes in with a bomb, catches 3, the work's not done, climbs back to the mech, goes for the Ana up on the high ground, and that's the kind of Diva play you like to see. Really solid there. We talked about
Wait, did that bomb come in your spawn?
Yeah, well, you got like 3 of them in the middle of the point. Duck doing the same, catching 3 right in the middle there, and they were going to hold that point right there. Leo, yeah, would lose round 66, but what can he do? Product Jammer here for BGBR, winning over Alacrity and just popping off. I think it was a quintuple kill to them with the team kill, and the Product Jammer showing off. Milk, fantastic combo here over the top. All Octavius had this game. It's an EMP triple tire coming through for Instalock, and yeah, top plays, man. Just top plays.
And welcome back to the final of the Console Gaming League PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. Got Huegas and Cataclysm locking horns here. Huegas off to a fantastic start, winning in 3 rounds on Oasis over a Cataclysm team that would not quit. Coming back in with their map pick now, it's Dorado, and like I've said, we've seen this happen before. We've seen Junkertown, Watchpoint. All these payload maps come out after a team loses a control point, and it usually provides a pretty nice series. So I'm glad to see the Cataclysm has picked Dorado. I think both teams are ready to go, so we'll get you into Dorado as soon as possible. But this showcase has definitely lived up to expectation, and we've really enjoyed bringing it to you. Again, if you want to get involved with Console Gaming League, get into the Discord, link below the stream, and you can find out when Season 6 is starting, register your team, or come in as a free agent. A lot of options. Have free tiers, like we've always had free tiers. We'll keep the free tiers. We'll also be providing paid tiers as well. So some more just competitive edge, and I know you guys have been asking about like prize pools and competitive tiers for a while, so we're excited to be able to bring that to you and just kind of expand the reach of the Console Gaming League. Huegas attacking first here. Obviously, you can't trust pre-match hero selection. It's never accurate. I think for the defenders, maybe a little bit more accurate. It's going to be Cataclysm coming out with Cyber Ninja on the Reinhardt, Ethan on Symmetra. For Vitonio, played a little bit of fair on Oasis, but we'll see who decides to go this time. Men Are Mortal, the sub, coming in as Zarya. Played a very solid Doomfist and a few of the DPS heroes in previous games. Sackmeister on the Zenyatta, one more night on Mercy. It's going to be Ethan and Fervitonio on a McCree Genji setup.
30 seconds.
For the attackers coming out, Jibri onto the Brigida, Slayer on Widow. Akid, Mick on Winston, Sacred going Genji, Abduct on Hanzo, is Dragon Envy. It's on Mercy. A lot of pressure coming through onto Slayer on the Widow, trying to find some space. Can't really find a shot behind that Reinhardt shield. Making it a little bit difficult, but the payload starting to push underneath. The defense yet to engage. Now it's Abduct on the high ground. The dive tank's going in, and that's what Huegas were so good at on Oasis, just trying to get those tanks in and control the high ground. Trying to do that here, but I think Abduct kind of caught out a little bit. Finally back into the fold, but Akimic has to drop off. Payload's still continuing to push because the defense hasn't rotated yet. Finally, we've got Cyber Ninja on the Reinhardt coming back, swinging hammers, trading shots with Jibri, but finally gets the worst end of it. Falls there. One more night, tries to go in for the res. Does get the Reinhardt back up, but pays for it as Abduct takes down the Mercy. Huegas still continues to, I think, kind of be in control of this position. Finally taking Cyber Ninja down for a second time. And Huegas continue to push the payload. Single fight, one and done, and into the A checkpoint. We'll see if the contention comes through. Sackmeister very far forward. Interesting position for this Zenyatta, but will be able to contest at least briefly. Has the Mercy with him. Finally does drop, and now it's going to be a Dragon Blade coming out here from Fervitonio. Not able to get a lot out of it. Hits Jibri, but then taken down by Sacred. Jibri gets the res, Fervitonio gets the long spawn, so it'll be a little bit difficult here for the defenders in this middle section as they continue to lose members, and just the staggered respawns coming through will make it hard for Cataclysm to put together the same kind of cohesive defense they want until much later in the section. So a little bit disadvantaged here, especially since 4 ultimates on deck for the attackers. Huegas, 2, almost 3 here. Men Are Mortal pretty close to a Graviton, but that pick there from Ethan onto Slayer will be incredibly helpful early. Another one onto Dragon Envy, and all of a sudden, Cataclysm swing the fight the other direction. Looks like they did lose 2, so they backed out. The defense now able to establish themselves about halfway through this section. Both teams a little bit tentative, but now the engagement starts to happen. The Valkyrie goes up. It's a double bomb from Abduct, but I think, yeah, kill's definitely going the way of Huegas there as Akimic's able to get into the fun as well. Jibbery picks up his opposite. And yeah, just Huegus just the fight keeps, they kind of poke back and forth, right? They take a little bit of time and just pick the engagement opportunity and just dive in, and it's been working out really well. Huegus able to weather the storm, win. You know, it starts getting a little bit dodgy for them, but I think having Jibbery on the Brigida really helps them to have their dive tanks create a little bit more room, and obviously protecting the supports in and around the payload. Now it's another Dragon Blade coming out, the Graviton combination as well. Fermentonio is able to get Slayer, looks for another here on Akabik, who's on the high ground, able to find it. It's a double there in the blade, and the defender should be able to hold this payload 3.57 meters away. Nice combination of ultimates there from Genji and the Zarya. Still 3 ultimates here for the defenders. The attack, nothing to work with just yet. But obviously it's only a matter of time. Ooh. Slayer will take down Fermentonio, finally stunned out, and catches that elusive Genji. So now the attack with a little bit of the advantage. They dive now onto the tank line for Cataclysm. Sacred able to get a pulse bomb on a Sackmeister. Things starting to look good for the red team as they have the 6v4 advantage. 2 kills going the opposite direction will even it out. However, for the defenders, they still have ultimates they can use here. The first of which coming out, the Shatter, I think actually tried to hit Jibbery, but went directly into the shield, and they really didn't get a lot out of that. Cyber Ninja dropped immediately afterwards, so a little unfortunate to have that opportunity kind of fall by the wayside, but they've still got Men Immortal on the Diva, switched off the Zarya over to this kind of more stall hero, and trying to set up onto the payload. Rallies out from both sides though, and the Brigida is trying to stay close. The rest of the team coming back in to take full advantage of that ultimate. Now it's a self-destruct from Men Immortal coming in over the top. Does it catch the attack off guard? It does not. And like we've seen, the Diva self-destructs have been a little bit just lackluster across the entire tournament. A lot of ones, mostly nothing, but Abduck is able to prove me wrong a little bit there by getting one in with that last use. Akademic still here with a Primal Rage, just earned it. Can use to continue contesting, but I think they're still getting the kills. Oh, actually, no, he is by himself, but still using that to stall, trying to use the ultimate. There's 4 members of Cataclysm around him, but yeah, finally does get powered down. The defenders will hold 1 minute and 45 seconds on the clock for Huegus. They have the Pulse Bomb, but not much else. Ethan here on your screen with the Deadeye. Men Immortal close to another self-destruct, so actually I bet that's probably a mech. Yeah. There we go. 53%, there you go. Sacred looking for a good opportunity to use the Pulse Bomb. Finds a clustered up group. Possibly here. Get some damage in on the Diva. At least maybe splitting this line a little bit, distracting the defensive high ground line. Pulse Bomb not quite able to connect there for Sacred. Gets the damage in, but can't finish the job just yet. And Sacred does get popped out there. Cyber Ninja with a nice just slam in onto that Tracer. Jibbery answers one back onto the Genji, but now as the time bank really starts to whittle down here, Cataclysm have done a good job of just wasting a lot of this time for the attackers. A couple good cleaned up team fights. And probably a few staggered attacks though from Huegus as well, but as this possibly final fight breaks out, Self-Destruct goes back in. Men Immortal not quite able to find anybody, but now it's rallies again from both sides, trying to keep everybody on level terms. Dragon Blade coming out, looks for somebody on the high ground. Abduct finally drops, but not much else here for the Genji. For Vitoyo, still pretty even. Rez coming back in on the Diva. That's going to be huge here for Huegus. Sacred just looking for targets. Finally finds Men Immortal out of mech and in a very vulnerable position. A few kills going the way of Huegus, though. I think finally, yeah, Sacred able to get a couple influential ones there. Can't quite connect with the Pulse Bomb, but still looks like they might be able to continue pushing this. Just the single member there, the Winston trying to continue contesting. Mercy comes back in one more night, tries to find a little bit of safety. Men Immortal on the Diva now able to get back to the payload. Not a lot of members though from Huegus as they continue trying to push forward. Dragon Heavy in a very risky spot, but is able to get the res off onto Akademic regardless. Hell, they may regret that though. 72% away from the Valkyrie. That could have been huge in this fight, but still continuing their contention here. Kills going the way of Huegus though. They're filling up the kill feed. And if the defense can't hold any longer, that will be a cap. 1 minute and 28 seconds left for the red team. That was a pretty close one for them. Ooh, Sacred caught out again, and Ethan's kind of gotten the better of that Tracer for the large part of these games. Not a lot of ultimates for the attackers. They still have just the 60 seconds, but this third section, especially with the short defensive respawn, 60 seconds will come and go so quickly. Hervitonio able to get a quick kill onto Dragon Envy with finds the reset, Meta Immortal, and Cyber Ninja getting it as well. It's a Dragon Blade, I believe, coming out. Was able to find one pick and trying to finish the job on a Sacred, and does. The defenders hold once more. And it's going to be Slayer over to the Sombra. Already 97% to an EMP, so that'll be influential for this next fight. 5 ultimates, though, for the defender. So Juegas, I think, 4 of their own plus the EMP. That's, I don't know. That's tough to call. That's tough to call. Coming out immediately, there's the EMP. You'll see how many it caught. Members from Juegas starting to get a couple of these kills. One more night drops, and that's going to be huge. They don't have the Valkyrie up anymore, but Dragon Envy still available. Here's a self-destruct from the other side. Men Immortal not able to catch anybody. Juegas still kind of sitting in an okay-ish position, I'd say. Yeah, still getting some of these kills. But Ferventonio again with the Dragon Blade looks for targets. Dragon Envy able to evade with the Valkyrie up. Slicing and dicing on the point, but Akademic just able to stay up via the Valkyrie from Dragon Envy. Fantastic play there from the Mercy to just stay out of harm's way and keep the tanks on their feet. The payload continues pushing now in overtime. Slayer already 67% to another EMP, but still ultimates favor the defenders. Ferventonio switching now off the Genji over to Azaria. Cyber Ninja up with a Primal Rage, trying to find kills anywhere he can, and picks up 2 on Slayer and Sacred. Big here for the defenders. I think a Deadeye coming out from Ethan as well. Hasn't used it yet. It hasn't caught anybody. Yeah, I think the defense actually starting to swing this. They're really taking advantage of that shorter respawn. Starting to get a couple of these. They finally push back the attackers, and that is it. That is where the payload stops on Dorado. Almost all the way through for Juegas, but Cataclysm hold on to prevent the third tick. So a really lengthy delay that pushed into overtime in the kind of middle phase here. Ended up costing Juegas not enough time to quite get through that third section. And the payload stops 63.98 meters. An opportunity here for Cataclysm on the map they picked to come back, cap here, tie up the series, and take us to the third game. Or can Juegas hold on their defense and take the final in 2 maps?
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
The appearance of a Junkrat pick. I was saying earlier that not a lot of Junkrat play so far, but Academic picking it up here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Coming up for the attackers, we've got Ethan on the Widow, Cyber Ninja back over to the Winston. Meta Immortal on Diva. Ferventonio back over on the Genji. Jibbery, I think, playing Zenyatta for the first time in this tournament, at least that we've gotten on stream. I've been playing a lot of Ana and a lot of Brigitte. Sacred getting the first pick, though, on Ferventonio will definitely benefit the defenders. Juegas here. A second pick on the Cyber Ninja, looking really good for this Pharaoh, who's already 57% to a Rocket Barrage. Wants to finish off the kill on the Widow and finds Ethan in the corner. Oh, but then a nice left trigger from Sackmeister, able to get the pick. Dies anyway, but, you know, especially as a Zenyatta player, able to take down a Pharah no matter where they are. It doesn't matter how close they are to the ground or not. Being able to take out a Pharah, it's always fun. Right up there with Genjis and Tracers. What can you do? Ferventonio, nice pullback there from Abdic on the Winston's able to pull that Genji back to the danger zone and takes him down. Juegas with a very impressive defense so far. Academic already with a Riptire. Opts to use it here, looking for space around the back and directly into the face of Men Are Mortal, but able to catch Cyber Ninja regardless, taking that Diva out of mech as well. Ferventonio again in a tough spot, getting crowded out a little bit, almost got pulled back once more by the Orisa player for Juegas, ends up dropping anyway. And yeah, it's just tough for Cataclysm here, not really able to make anything happen. Men Are Mortal impressive though, able to get away from Abdic on the Orisa here and onto a Diva, is able to come back in and melt that shield tank. So Cataclysm may be able to use that to their advantage, but the healing just in on Sackmeister, making it very difficult. Or rather on Jibbery. Gets help from Dragon Envy and able to take down that Diva. So not quite all it's cracked out to be. Still a Dragon Blade available from Fervitonio. A lot of ultimates on deck though. Almost 4 now for Juegas in their next defense. Already 2 minutes off the clock. Half the time bank down here for Cataclysm. They're not much further than where they started. Fervitonio looking for a chance to use this Dragon Blade. Hasn't found it just yet. Not really anything to combine it with, but a nice shuriken just through the crowd is able to catch a low Academic. Here's the Rocket Rush coming in from Sacred, able to catch 2 actually. Now the Dragon Blade coming in from Fervitonio, looking for a couple targets. Hasn't found anything just yet. The Transcendence up from Jibri completely negates it. A fantastic timing from that Zenyatta just to nullify that completely. Academic able to get the pick on the Sackmeister. Kill still going the way of Juegas, and yeah, that I just well-timed Transcendences. Just most powerful ultimate in the game. Able to completely nullify the threat there. Combined with the Rocket Barrage, really swung things their direction. Just a few members remain here for Cataclysm in and around the payload. Supercharger in from Abduct, just to kind of put the icing on the cake, so to speak. But they know the fight's not over as the reinforcements start to come through for the attackers. Very low shield here for Cyber Ninja. Has to retreat a little bit. Yeah, I don't think they can really maintain this attack. Just taking a lot of damage. Fervitonio is able to take down Slayer, though, so they have maybe a little bit of an advantage here as the rest of the members start to come back in. Another pick onto Dragon Envy will be huge for them. They went in for the res and couldn't quite find it. So still 6v5 as that res did come off. But now it's Abduct down as well. And the Pharah for Cataclysm absolutely putting in work. Ethan getting in it to it as well. And the DPS heroes for Cataclysm turning things around for the blue team.
That's how it's done.
Very nice cap here from Cataclysm. 3 minutes on the clock. And the time bank kind of working against them a little bit. But a fast and furious fight here in the air from both of these Pharah players.
Move up with me.
Sacred finds a target one more night, caught out a little bit, separated from the Fervitonio Pharmacy combo. Now that Blue Pharah forced to do it on his own, finds a direct, but still the health just coming in onto Sacred from Dragon Envy makes it difficult. Rocket Barrage available for both sides. Very, still just 40% from the Graviton for Men Are Mortal, the Zarya player for Cataclysm. So nothing really they can combine that with. They may have to be patient. Academic now on the Widow. Gets a quick 2 picks. Still looks like Juegas have a bit of the advantage. Some bright spots here and there, but now Sacred with a nice double in from behind. Able to get the kill onto the Mercy, then finds another 2 with the ultimate. Again, Juegas just kind of asserting themselves here on the point. And Cataclysm, the momentum they had there towards the end of the first checkpoint, they're not quite able to carry it over. Still a few ultimates to work with, and now they're only 14% away from that Graviton. So that is a fight-ending combination right there. See if they get the opportunity to use it. But again, Jibri with the Transcendence. No reason to believe won't be able to find the Trans to save the day again. Ooh, fantastic there from Jibri in the air. Just delaying the threat for a little while longer. Transcendence coming out now from Sackmeister. I think just to keep tanks up, it looked like. Couldn't tell exactly why they had that going, but maybe for the stagger, I'm not entirely sure, but finally does drop as soon as it subsides. Wake is still getting the kills, though. They've res Sacred back, and still 4 ultimates for Juegas the attackers. They do have the grab barrage combo finally. Rather, Cataclysm does. So an opportunity here for them to end this fight and cap B. But they've already used 2 minutes. Now Fervitonio going down. Academic able to pick that Pharah out of the sky. It means they'll have to wait even longer now. And it's just kind of lethargy from Cataclysm that could end up costing them. Ethan in, doing it all, and getting Abduct down with a nice fan of the hammer. But answering one directly back is the Widow once again. Sacred with another kill. The Graviton coming through. They're not able to get the combination off. Jibri did use the Transcendence, but I don't think... Yeah, I think they may have just gone and just spurned the Rocket Barrage because Fervitonio is now onto a Genji. But again, Juegas defending really strongly. 30 seconds available here for the attacking Cataclysm, and they're not... They just haven't really looked incredibly threatening in the second section. Nice from Sackmeister getting the left trigger around the corner onto Jibri. Now as the time starts to tick down, Juegas so close to the championship they can taste it. Cyber Ninja in with the kill onto Dragon Envy and maybe starts to turn things around a little bit for Cataclysm. Finds another kill into Academic. Jibri able to answer one back with Meta Mortal. The tank line doing a great job here for Cataclysm just to keep this alive for the team in blue. One more night with the res onto Sackmeister, and they're back to, I believe, full health here. They barely have 5 on the payload. Here comes a Shadow, though, coming through from Abduct. Don't think was able to find anybody. Will drop there, but now the contention still keeps coming through from Akademic, who's able to come back from spawn. The rest of the reinforcements coming through from the defenders now, and it could make it difficult. Kill swapping either side. Dragon Envy down, though, for the defender, so them without their mercy now. Dragon Strike does separate the team, but doesn't get any kills, but now it's really starting to look good for Juegas. Yeah, Ethan's able to get the double. The overtime meter threatening to tick down. Capping doing everything he can. I think they're going to be able to cap this. 0.03 meters away, and Abda comes back on the soldiers trying to contest up against Man Immortal, who's out of Mega on the Diva. Rest of the defensive reinforcements starting to come through, and that Diva is very, very lonely facing these three heroes. It's a self-destruct from the top, but just the time it took to get it up and exploded. Oh, off the payload long enough for Wiggins to take that, and they are your showcase winners.
Play of the game.
That's it. Congratulations to Juegas for winning the CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. Really impressive performance, and I enjoyed watching all these teams. We'll get some post-tournament thoughts and give you some announcements and news about what's coming up in CGL right after this.
Right. This was kind of fun. Yumchat coming in on Temple to do this. Just really honestly heads up warrior play, trying to keep everybody alive, do what he can. Rocket Rush comes out and fades right out of the way. Pops a coalescence, trying to keep those tanks up. Defense goes on hold. And yeah, just really solid warrior play.
Support top plays.
Exactly. Electric Slump coming in. Actually, a lot of Junkrat top plays here. This not even using the tire coming through. Sarge had this game, and Boost and Co. getting the win, like we said, coming in as Junkrat doing some work. Milkboy, like you mentioned, switch in this game.
Oh,
P9 versus Chaotic, getting the triple. Boop off the side. Lucio Orisa out of commission and getting the punch on the Brigida as well. Miko was looking good. Tank last week and a DPS Doomfist this week. A lot of fun to watch. Coming in 6, Gaming Sorcerer here. It was a triple bomb coming in from Desert Frost in the Desert Legion Gaming versus Mountain game. Gaming Sorcerer came with a triple right afterwards, cleaned up the point. Mountains and Desert Legion, like I said, go on to tie that game. And the Apollo for Capitalism coming through with a Dragon Blade absolutely dirty, catching a couple of the sound barrier, helping keep him up, and just doing a really solid job there. Sees Hundy's instant lock, looking very good on Diva, comes in with a bomb, catches 3, the work's not done, climbs back to the mech, goes for the Ana up on the high ground, and that's the kind of Diva play you like.
And welcome back to Console Gaming League PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. Congratulations to Juegas for taking that game over Cataclysm. In the end, just a very strong side all the way around. You may know Juegas has Fracture. They kind of changed their name right before the tournament. I know they have a pretty big rivalry with Fissure. And really nice to get to know a lot of these GM PS4 teams. I have not been able to cast for PS4 before, so really I was excited to do this tournament, and it definitely did not disappoint. A lot of really high-level gameplay, and really appreciate Jax for getting everybody all organized for this and getting able to put this together. And obviously a huge shout out to all the CGL admins that have been behind the scenes trying to coordinate. Really appreciate all that. But again, congratulations to Juegas. Guys, CGL playoffs for season 5 start this Monday. Like I said, the first game already scheduled, Boost & Co versus Team Oof, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we'll have that definitely on the stream for you, or you can get into the Discord in the stream schedule and find out where they'll be being cast. Maybe I will be on this channel. Actually, I think I might try and take that game. Boost & Co, like I mentioned earlier, coming off of a loss to Panthera Leo. Actually, I think they beat Panthera Leo in the final week of the season, but didn't quite have the map points to take that second seed. So Panthera Leo able to go through, and they'll have a bye. They'll start next week, or on the 29th rather. So a lot of exciting playoff action coming up. Make sure you are in the Discord and on the Twitch stream for it. If you're not a follower yet or a subscriber, please hit that button, because we love the support and we love the community. Appreciate you guys being here. I think that will just about do it for us though. So for everybody here at Console Gaming League, and again, just all the PS4 captains and the teams that took the time out of the day to come play in this tournament, really appreciate it. Thank you guys, you viewers. I've been trying to keep up with the chat. Really appreciate you guys being involved, and yeah, just had a lot of fun with it. So for Console Gaming League, and yeah, just for everybody here, I'm Salt and Pepper. We'll see you guys next time. Test this. There's the team kill, and Space Esports off to a great start. One back on the Brigida, but now falls regardless, and I think this initial engagement again will go the way of the team in red. Bikes maybe making a bit of a contention, but yeah, there's the boot coming in from Air. Preemptive sound barrier perhaps from Erwin. I think maybe the fight already won, but it's going to have to be maybe Kaido coming in to touch, but blocked out completely by the Orisa here, and really solid spark. Managed attack there from Space Esports. Just cleanup work now for Insanity as the bomb comes out here. Fortify not able to catch anybody. Bomb's been a little lackluster from both sides throughout this game, but as the attack, or the red team gets off the point, Insanity ties it for Insanity, who you expect to be able to hold this for a little while. The Graviton plus the Dragon Strike, huge for them. We'll see if it comes out in this fight. There you are right there. There's the Graviton looking for a couple, able to catch, yeah, 3 there. Solid cleanup from Insanity. Numbers, I believe. Narcoleptic by himself completely. The rest of his support's coming back in to keep him up, and I thought for a second that Reinhardt may fall, but Enjoyable has another Rocket Barrage. Combines here with the Graviton, able to catch a couple, and again, the kill feed going the way of Insanity. Directly in, the Shadow goes through, catches 2. Jebsters is down. Liking Friedemann as well, but the kill still going the way of Insanity. Here comes the Dragon Strike straight through the Graviton. That's 4 kills for Merxalot. I think they have the advantage here. Liking Freedom back on his feet, though. They needed that because he's got the Rocket Barrage. A chance to use it here. Finds one, but Leo's going to take down his opposite. Kills going the way of Space. Overtime meter starting to drop. Can anybody come back here for Insanity? They cannot. Space Esports. Moving on. Trying to stay a little bit tight and pick their target. The pin coming through, but it's jab out of mech. Sound barrier coming in through from the attacker's fissure, looking if they can collect part of the point. The Graviton coming through. A fantastic combination here. Oh my god. Oh, it's a 5 for Supreme. What a fantastic combo there. Cataclysm. It's another Deadeye here for Ethan, looking for anything. Hasn't found it yet, but they still ultimates available here for the attackers. Meteor Strike coming in, able to catch exhibits. Finds a punch onto Madman and Tactics as well, and this Doomfist absolutely popping off. Back to a little bit more health. Complete just chaos underneath here around this Mega, but it's Fissure starting to get the picks. Here comes the Shatter from Excel. Oh my god. Really nice coordination there from Fissure. A lonely support they can stick a pulse bomb to. Ultimates building though for the attacking team now as well. Fissure's coming out, the Graviton coming through, the key Rocket Barrage combination. Sacred able to catch a couple, looking for another one. Oh, what a combination there from Vegas coming back onto the point. Eliminating Sacred as a threat. Slayer now off the Sombra to a McCree though, so maybe expecting that, seeing the hit scan, not wanting to deal with it. Here comes the combination again. Graviton able to catch both tanks and the Graviton. And the Rocket Barrage catches both. Yeah, doesn't really catch anybody, but still has the Valkyrie up to try and keep him just solvent on the point. Tico finds Slayer with the bomb, and that's a solid pick. There's the, oh my god, what a shadow there. Able to catch Abduck, who I think has the nano on, swinging away. Does have a bubble though, so we'll see if the Zarya survives. Finally gets melted down. It looks good. The supports that like to set up back there. Meta Mortal still just melting people down. Member Pig dropping the Transcendence out from Zack Miser should help them continue staying alive long enough to cap this point. God, just this Bastion absolutely melting people, and that will do it here for Cataclysm as they'll cap beat. Just looking a little bit better on this attack. Oof. Ethan with a fantastic headshot there on. Pharmacy back up here for Cataclysm. Slayer looking for the shot, finds it midair. What a fantastic sniper shot there, and obviously protecting the supports in and around the payload. Now it's another Dragon Blade coming out, the Graviton combination as well. Fermentonio is able to get Slayer, looks for another here on Akamic, who's on the high ground, able to find it. It's the double there in the blade, and the defender should be able to hold this payload. Sacred just looking for targets, finally finds Meta Mortal out of mech and in a very vulnerable position. A few kills going the way of Quagus though, I think finally, yeah, Sacred able to get a couple influential ones there. But now it's Abdic down as well, and the Pharah for Cataclysm absolutely putting in work. Ethan getting in it to it as well, and the DPS heroes for Cataclysm turning things around for the blue team.